The best popover ever. You mean the Neiman Marcus one?
No, the Neptune Circle.
I never had a popover there.
What? Gallagher's?
No, never did.
I was going to say Gallagher's or just on the Circle.
I had to dodge traffic the whole time.
Right, exactly.
Remember back then, any place we ever went, what did I order?
The most expensive thing on the menu?
No.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Logrum Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, December the 19th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
I think my hat's on backwards.
I think your head's on backwards.
Oh, that's the problem. I'll have to fix that.
You think your shipping is done?
Hold on. There we go. There's a tag.
There you go. Well, you got to take the tag off,
okay.
Unless you're planning on returning it after Christmas.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
There you go. Want to sing that Star Wars Christmas Carol with me? Dun,
No.
dun, 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 dun. No.
I thought you were going to do the Song of the Fates. The Song of the Fates is a cooler song.
I was actually going to do the Cantina song. We should make a Christmas song out of that.
There's got to be.
Some sleigh bells in it or something.
One.
It's got to be, right?
Gene disagrees.
Gene disagrees? Gene just says no.
He doesn't say no to much.
No, actually, I think he left out the letters I-C-E, and he was just telling you it was noise.
Noise? No, I think he meant to wish us a happy Christmas, and he left out the L.
There you go. I gotcha. But
my second Noel joke.
Right. Hello, is this thing on? Right, he left out the E-L, right, yeah. E-L, I see what you're saying. You said the word E-L. I got you. All right, so anyway. So how are you on this fine evening, sir?
Well, first, Marley was dead. That is a doornail.
Mm-hmm. He was.
Oh, well, you know I'm doing that. It's because it is the anniversary of the publication of A Christmas Carol.
It is, and that is why we celebrate Happy Christmas Carol Day today.
Is that how the Carol spelled? I thought that was a name.
Carol is a name. Right.
So is with an E. I don't think you have that.
I'm not quite sure. Let's find out.
Yeah,
we can change it if we want.
Let's go to the video. No,
let's go to the videotape.
Let's go into Google.
Christmas.
Pretty certain.
Carol.
It's no E. It's no E. I don't think there's an E.
There is no E?
It's no E. John shall fix that. Toot sweet.
Is that better?
Wunderbar.
See, I was just worried. We were saying a Christmas Carol, like there's a woman named Carol, and she's all about Christmas, and
I'm sure there is.
She's Happy Christmas Carol, right?
Yeah,
she's a very happy.
Well, then you
Christmas
you
Carol.
didn't have an extra E. You had an extra A in there.
That's true.
Or is in the wrong place. A Happy Christmas Carol.
A Happy Christmas. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, yes, it's the celebration of the
enthralling
celebration. We've lost everybody so far. Celebration of the publishing of A Christmas Carol by Mr.
Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens. Very good. Very good. Got another comment here, and it's from Gene. No, E-L. There you go.
There he's got
There
it.
you go.
Well, someone found it funny.
There you go. It is also National Hard Candy Day.
So, yes.
Happy National Hard Candy Day.
Does a candy cane count as hard candy?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And what about remember grandparents had the ribbon candies?
Oh, things? Yeah.
My grandmother had those, and I know somebody who can actually attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to talk to him about that.
We'll have to talk to him about that in briefly, in a little bit. And just to round it out, it is Happy Look for an Evergreen.
If your tree's not up yet, what are you waiting for?
Exactly.
How many days you've got? What, less than a week?
And that tree's been up since the end of November.
No, you got more than.
You got less than a week. Got 6 days.
You got 6 days to get your tree up. Actually,
5 if you want it up. 5 if you want it up by.
Yes, if you want Santa to put gifts under.
Less than 5. Well, 5 if you want it up by Christmas Eve evening, right? Yeah. But anyway, Happy Look for an Evergreen Day. So if you haven't gotten one, go out and get one. Go look for an evergreen.
Stupid day to put that on.
I know exactly. Anyway,
19th of the year.
The 19th. You should put it on the 9th.
19th of December.
19th of the year.
Yeah. Should 9th is probably closer. I'd
There you
say.
Fair
Somewhere
enough.
around there.
Anyway, all right. I have a couple of my typical dad jokes, but I want to tell them with everybody on the show. So, and I wouldn't mind cracking a beer because it's about that time. So, why don't we bring
It's been a
our
day.
guests
Yes, need a
plural,
beer.
on the show?
Ready.
There you go. First, please welcome to the show a man who needs no introduction, of course, on this show.
We'll introduce him anyway.
We'll introduce him anyway. Mr. John Staradumsky, Bruguru himself. Welcome to the show, John.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, John, welcome back.
Always a great show when you're on, especially when we're having holiday beers and Christmas sales.
Yes,
That is always it.
One of his biggest loves is seasonal beers, regardless of the season.
July and December.
Exactly.
Yes. Love them.
I seem to remember a Christmas in July show we did.
Yeah, there's that, but it's not just that. It's also before Halloween comes. He's all about the pumpkins,
And we did a pumpkin show.
We do that.
so
We did that,
it doesn't matter the season. John's got a beer for it.
Yeah.
Really
A
quick,
beer.
you guys were talking about Star Wars Christmas songs. You do know there's Christmas in the Stars, an entire album of Star Wars Christmas songs, right?
I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
It is.
It
And,
is.
and apparently
remember
you've definitely have one up on Samurai that he's not aware of that. So
Yeah, it is very hard to find, but you can get the CD, and it also features a very young John Bon Jovi, and on very young John Bon Jovi.
Maybe that's why I ignored it.
On vocals, but
Not a big Bon Jovi fan.
Hey, well, you know what? Not a big Bon Jovi fan, but he's from Jersey. So.
He's from Jersey.
if I never told you, you'd never know he was on the album.
Would have never known. It was
Just
wonderful.
pretend I never said that.
There you go. Fair enough. And we also our typical Christmas week guest. We'll bust the chops in a second, but let's bring him on too. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Samurai's brother, Bryan Cichon. Bryan, how are you?
I am good. Happy holidays. How are you?
Happy holidays,
Hey.
Bryan. Thanks for coming on the show.
We had supposed to be on last year. We had unforeseen circumstances.
You were on 3 years ago. You were on 2 years ago. You had unforeseen circumstances last year, and here you are this year. So thank you for joining us. So
Glad to keep.
Now, was I right? Didn't Gammy always have that ribbon candy?
Yes, I saw holiday treats, and I was thinking about that already.
Yeah, those ribbon candies. So we'll see. We'll see if it shows up on anybody's list, or if everybody's just too PTSD from the dentist visit afterwards.
Or somebody's beer, because people do that too, apparently.
there you go. Exactly. All right. Cool. All right. Well, foreshadowing our tonight's top three, but if you read the post for the show,
You already
know
knew
what we're
this.
doing anyway. So you already knew it anyway. So all right. Before we get cracking, let's open some beers.
That is cracking.
John, what are you drinking first?
Well, I've got a Alta Liebe Dunkelweiss, which is not necessary. It's not per se, and I've got it in the Alta Liebe glass.
Very nice.
Serious proper glassware. Right
Yeah.
Here's
there.
perfect glass for
Yeah.
you.
Not a Christmas beer per se, or holiday beer, but I did get it in the Kalea beer advent calendar from Costco that they sell every year. So it's one of 24 German beers that you get one each day.
Very nice. Very nice. Cheers. You were telling me about that before. That's awesome. It made me want to go out and get, pick up the advent calendar and maybe catch up really quick.
That would be fun.
Hold on. Give me a minute. Let me drink 19 beers. Hang on a second.
Ketchup advent calendar.
The ketchup advent calendar. Right?
Ketchup advent calendar.
Oh, advent of calendar of different ketchups would suck.
Yeah, exactly. After about the third, I'd be good. I'm good.
Yeah, once I got the Heinz, I'd be like, why bother? This is,
Well, there are 57 different Heinz, right?
Yeah.
no 57 different flavors, not different Heinz.
Took
Different
them 57
varieties.
times to get it right.
Varieties,
Yeah.
right, exactly. I've actually been to the Heinz Museum in Pittsburgh. It's actually pretty cool. I got to tell you, it's actually pretty cool. You ever go to Pittsburgh? You ever find yourself in Pittsburgh with an hour and a half, 2 hours to kill? Go. It's pretty cool.
The anticipation is killing me.
I can imagine. There you go. Brian, what are you drinking for your first beer?
Went to look for winter beers, and years and years ago, and Dave and Beer Samurai knows this. My brother knows this. Used to do beer tastings, and back in the day, there wasn't the plethora that we have today. So I went classic. Got an Anderson Valley Winter Solstice because
Very
that's
nice.
from the beginning.
You use one of my favorite words, plethora. It means a lot.
You started before I did.
I got the dad joke out before you did. So my question is, I got two anchors. I'm going to drink them both. It's just, do I do the older one first or the newer one first?
I think you do the.
Yeah, that's.
You could do the newer one first.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the newer.
It's
one
tough
first.
with that one because it's different every year, right? So
yeah, so it's
if you were doing just a beer that's pretty much the same every year, I would always go with the newer one first.
Yes.
That gives you a better idea how the older one's holding out. But with a beer like our special ale, that's really tough because they change it up every year. So you can't really compare them apples to apples.
No. And sometimes, the reason I hesitated is because sometimes the younger ones, whatever evergreen flavor they put in there tends to be a little harsh at the beginning. So I don't want it to wash out the older one if that has settled down some more. But
makes sense.
I'm going to do the newer one first.
And so you're doing, there you go.
John, what are you drinking?
I am drinking, I'm drinking this. I haven't poured it yet. I'll pour it in a second. It is Fireside Chat from 21st Amendment.
That's good.
Oh,
I was looking all over for this beer, couldn't find it anywhere. We talked about it last week on the show because we had Kevin Drury from Almanac Beer on the show, and we were talking about it because he used to work for 21st Amendment before he worked for Almanac, and we were waxing nostalgic about this beer, and I was looking, like I said, I was looking all over, couldn't find it, and then good friend of mine found a 6-pack of it in Boonton on Saturday.
that must be one hell of a hunter of beer.
Delivered to me on Sunday. It might have been somebody that actually is drinking a Christmas ale right now. That would be. Thank you, Mr. Samurai, for finding the beer for me.
Hey, my go-to place.
Mm-hmm. And you're a lot closer to it than I am these days. I used to be a lot closer. Well, no, you were always closer to it back in the day.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Just not when we were not legal.
Well, that's true. That's true. So Fireside Chat right there, 21st Amendment. It's an awesome beer. So
cheers, folks.
And I put it in proper glassware for my first beer of the night.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Cheers, gents. Merry Christmas.
I should have gone the other way. This
Merry Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Whatever evergreen they used in this is still fresh.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think I drank one in July, and I found that same was true. It was as fresh. All the flavors were as robust as they had been the previous December.
Yeah, I should have. I should have. My first instinct did the older first, but
there you go. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Gene,
that was a consensus.
It was a consensus. Gene, we were waxing stuff. Oh, yes, we were waxing nostalgic. We were waxing nostalgic. Gene.
Who's nostalgic?
I don't know, but he needed waxing. Anyway, all right. Listen, I got a couple of things for you, really quick. Get them out of the way. By that I mean dad jokes.
Oh, there we go.
What nationality is Santa Claus?
What nationality is Santa Claus?
Mm-hmm. I'll take a sip while you ponder that.
Yeah, you just ponder. I don't know if I can pull up the wah.
He's Russian.
That's a good one. I like that.
That's not a bad one.
It's not bad.
Hit us with it.
He's North Polish.
So my brother and I are South Polish.
There you go.
But we are. We're like near the border of Ukraine and down that way.
Down there? Is that?
Where
in Poland are you from?
Around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing is those border lines have changed how many times during history? So we get, if we went to like 4 different DNA services, we'd get probably 4 different answers. But let's just say we're Slavic.
There you go.
They always said Russian too, but it's actually Belarus. So
which we don't really want to be associated with right now. But
fair enough.
They also, and at one point I heard Czech Republic, but it's actually where that area is, that's Slovakia there. So I think it was like Czechoslovakia, and they said, no, just Czech. No, it's actually Slovakia is right in that corner.
There you go.
This explains your Pilsner binge for the last year.
Year.
Yeah, and I'll be in the Czech Republic in April. So you want to see a Pilsner binge.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh boy.
Speaking of binging, while he's on his Pilsner binge,
You've got a second joke for us, do you?
No. While you're in,
you said you had two.
I do have three actually. But while you're in the Czech Republic binging on Pilsners, I'll be in Las Vegas. I said, speaking about binging, but
binging on everything else.
There you go. Anyway, all right. How much did Santa pay for his sleigh?
$2.
That's a good one too.
$8, yeah.
Would be $8, right? Yeah, $8.
$8,
Or
yeah.
$9 if you
$9. Something.
$9.
Rudolph, yeah. That's a good one. I like that. Nothing. It was on the house.
That's it. Up on the housetop.
Click. There you go, Pump. And one more. What goes O?
Not my first thought. Is probably not the correct answer.
Not Mrs. Claus.
Well, see, I figured it's Santa walking backwards. All right, but anyway, but if you had said that, I would have said no, Mrs. Claus. You know, so I had to cover both ways.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, but all right. I had to make the sound since Dave didn't have the cart pulled up. So
Who dis? New phone? No, seriously, new phone. I have no idea where that app disappeared to.
There you go. Got to find it somewhere. Just go to the App Store, and file it in, and you can open it up.
Guess what? You know why I couldn't find it?
Because it's right in front of your face.
It's the very first app on the app list. Oh, that killed me.
And this is coming from Gene. I got a feeling it refers to the jokes. There you go.
Yes.
Googly eyes. Anyway. All right.
Great googly moogly.
Great googly moogly. All right. As you can see, I'm decked out in, holiday attire. I just couldn't be, I'd be remiss if I didn't, mention, because anybody listening to the audio podcast isn't going to see it. My sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
My sweaty balls. I'm showing anybody listening to the audio podcast right now, I'm showing everybody my sweaty balls right now. Actually,
as funny as that routine was, the Betty White one.
Oh yeah, it was
with
Dusty Muffin.
Dusty Muffin.
Or Dusty Muffin, yeah.
Yep. Oh, it squirted when I ate it.
It happens. Right. That means you're doing it right.
No one wants a yeasty muffin.
No one wants, yeah, exactly.
God,
Sweaty Balls.
That was.
Well, Sweaty Balls was the first one, right?
Sweaty Balls was the first. That's the classic. The Betty White one though was that one. That was better, I think.
It was very good. And then there was the one. It was a home improvement show, and they were talking about caulk.
Yes.
And the one guy said it's Chris Parnell. He says, I love black caulk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now this whole thing is, if you ever listen to NPR, the two of them do sound exactly like NPR hosts.
Oh, sure.
Exactly.
It's just that tone of your voice. You got to nail that tone of voice. Anybody can do it. You just got to be able to do it. So anyway, and then there was. I actually just saw this the other day. It popped up in a reel on Facebook.
Really?
Cork soakers when Janet Jackson was on.
I remember cork soakers.
Yeah. Cork soakers aren't made; they're born. I was born to soak cork. You got to be careful. You got to be careful.
You guys
that's what it is. That's where I got it from. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cork soakers.
Yeah.
Fargan ice holes.
Fargan. This is Fargan War.
There you go. And and then what you call it? And Joe Piscopo was in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
no, that's actually, you can't get away with that joke now.
No, you can't.
No, that's just not right.
No, you can't. And then, well, one of our guests next week actually works with Joe Piscopo every day. So.
Yes, and Joe Piscopo's mother just passed away at 99 years old.
99 years old.
God bless her.
Mm-hmm. So close. So close.
Very close. Mm-hmm. Not as close as Betty made.
Betty what?
Week
12 days or something like that. 10 days. Like yeah, she was that close. So, anywho, all right. Let's.
Any Cindy Lou Who?
Cindy Lou Who.
Getting back to the holiday references.
Back to the holiday references. All right. Look, we've talked about some form or facet of this on the Christmas in July show, other holiday shows, but the conversation is always going to be different. So I'll just bring it up again. This particular combination of people hasn't been on one of the holiday shows yet, so that's a good thing.
This is true.
This is very true.
Yeah, this is the first time John and my brother have met.
That's right.
Not me, not John.
Yeah, the Bruguru, John.
Yeah.
There's
That guy down there.
There's two of us. But Dave.
Well, you're.
Oh, do you went like that?
Well, yeah, I think it went like that.
There you go. All right.
Well, like that, and then there's
Like
two.
no, he's like.
There you go. It's easier.
There you go. There you go.
It's over there.
It's backwards. You got to do it backwards.
My brother's over there somewhere, and
Brian's over here.
yeah, and Alice is this way too, right? Alice is in the middle,
somewhere right in there. Anyway, okay. Enough of the pointing. Stop with the finger pointing. Exactly.
Remember when you point your finger, pointing at you and one back up at God.
John, talk about tell us what the first Christmas holiday craft beer, not that necessarily you had, but one that you actually enjoyed, like you look for every year, one that became a tradition to you way back in the day. Like, when was the first one?
Oh, well, there's a couple probably in the. Well, I didn't have Anchor Special Ale. I think the first time I had it was like 91.
Fair enough.
And it was the year before. It was it was January of like 91, and I stumbled on actually in Waltham, Massachusetts. But before that, there was a Würzburger brewery from Germany does a Weihnachts beer, which is a Doppelbock.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to grab cases of that up in a liquor store up in Norwood, Mass. And I would get that every year. But after that, it was probably Catamount Christmas Ale, which is not around any longer. Right. In the 90s, I would not miss that beer.
That was a good beer.
I'm surprised. I really thought that Harpoon Winter Warmer would be.
Yeah, that's another one. I mean, that one was readily available though. That one.
Well, considering where you were.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Catamount too. Catamount was from Vermont,
Yeah.
so that was usually easy to find. The Würzburger was not, and I had to hunt for that one. But the Sam Adams too, Winterlager, and there were some other breweries that are no longer with us from Massachusetts and not really Rhode Island at the time. That Hope did from the late '80s. They did a Christmas ale that was pretty good too.
Yeah.
So all of those beers were a staple in my beer refrigerator.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, they were the Catamount. You're right. That was an amazing beer. Wish that was still around.
Yeah, me too. It was, not all that different from Celebration, but also different from Celebration.
Right.
It was a really hoppy IPA, just like Celebration is, but had its own charm. Held up well over time.
Yep.
So
amazing. And I like Celebration.
Yeah, like Celebration
ish.
How many cases have you gone through so far this year? Just two
and a half. So
yeah.
2.5. I may have to go. I'm not going to get another case. I'll probably wind up having to get another 6-pack or another 12-pack or something like that. But I'll
pour through pretty quickly this.
Yeah, 2.5. Well, I did. It's not all me. I probably personally had just under 2 cases, probably a case and 3 6-packs. People coming over, having my both of my sons-in-law to be. I said it properly. Sons-in-law to be.
Proper grammar, nice.
Enjoy a good craft beer. Thank you. I'll take credit for Corey. I can't totally take credit for Brian. He kind of liked beer before he knew me. So, but in any event, yeah. So sharing it, and just had to have a couple. You didn't hear that last part, Brian. Dave.
What did you say? I
said just had to have a couple.
Really? Really?
Funny. All right. Brian, yourself?
The first winter beer I remember having is Samuel Smith's.
You're welcome.
They were going to New York, and it was more readily available back in that day because that was a long time ago. But 10 years in Boston, winter, the Harpoon was a staple. So first one that really resonated as a Christmas beer for me was Sam Smith's, and then Harpoon just kind of became a regular piece in my refrigerator during Boston winters.
Gotcha.
Even before Boston winters, what was the liquor store in Bricktown where you'd find your seasonals?
I don't remember what that was.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was by the Rustler.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It was right by the Rustler.
All right, for anybody under 40, explain what you just said.
I'll let my brother do it. He was starting to talk about it, and we found this out with almost anybody who's like on a cell phone like that. If they start to talk and anybody else on the show starts to talk, their audio cuts off entirely. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I have noticed that.
So I'll let my brother explain Rustler.
Go ahead.
It was a steakhouse, but it was kind of like cafeteria style. You grabbed the tray, you went down the line, you ordered what steak you want, but the baked potatoes were the best. They had a big roasting machine in the back, and they wrapped them in foil, and they just stayed in there. The skin would get so crispy. So it took me years to perfect how to make those at home, but my baked potatoes are Rustler style now. But it was a great steakhouse, I mean, long before Longhorn, and way better than Outback. I mean, was it local to Jersey?
It was local to a lot of places, but there was plenty of them in Jersey. There was a bunch in Jersey. Yeah. So steakhouse. It was, for anybody needs a comparison, it wasn't comparable to, well, quality was comparable to Longhorn or Outback or anything like that.
Ponderosa was closer.
Ponderosa was closer, but the style of what you had to do there, it's more like a Golden Corral.
No, that's not fair.
No, the cafeteria kind of a thing is what I meant.
Except it wasn't a buffet.
What?
Yeah. It really wasn't a buffet.
It wasn't. It was more.
It was
a hybrid. It was a hybrid.
Yeah.
IKEA, right?
Yeah. There you go. My favorite part of it was the salad bar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And my brother can attest to this. My salad was a lot more dressing, croutons, bacon bits, and cheese than it was any vegetables.
You said a bowl of dressing, croutons, bacon bits, and cheese.
No, there was a little bit of lettuce.
You stuck one piece of lettuce and one carrot, and then you got back
and about 3 slices of cucumber.
There you go. Fair enough.
And a gallon of Russian dressing.
Yeah, gallon's probably fair estimate. That's probably a fair estimate. I mean, you could not see the vegetables because it was covered under that like flaccid pink dressing.
Love it.
But you couldn't see the flaccid pink dressing because of all the croutons, bacon bits, and Parmesan cheese on top of it.
Exactly. Oh, that's funny. That's great.
Yep.
All right. Samurai, yours?
Very, very similar to my brothers. Remember, we grew up in the same region. Even though he was, he said he went to get into New York for it. I didn't really go into New York. There's a store in Clifton that I'd go to. It's still there, but it's called something different now. And then there was one up in
Clifton?
Right where 3 and 46 split on, still on 46 though, just past that break, and I forget what it was called.
There's a couple of places there, yeah. So I know what you're talking about.
But they were one of the few that got the seasonals.
Yep.
There was the one in Bricktown we'd go to.
By the Rustler.
By the Rustler. There was so I'd do, Samuel Smith's was one of them. Harpoon Winter Warmer for sure. But also these guys, when they hit here, you're like, what is this? And then, the first year you're like, oh, that's really cool. It's got a Christmas tree on it. Next year it's like, there's not a Christmas tree on it this year. What WTF? What the hell's going on here? And then you realize, and it doesn't taste anything like it did. As a matter of fact, I'm actually on the 2021 now.
Oh, you've moved on to your second.
Yeah, I've moved on to my second, the 2022. What I love about these, if you're not particularly fond of what it tastes like, sit it for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will mellow out and blend. 2021, when I first had it, I was not a major fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, this thing has settled down and melded nicely. The clove and allspice, it's there, but it's not taking over everything,
right,
like it hasn't, in some of the past years, or even when this beer was fresh. That clove flavor just overpowered everything else in it, and now it's starting to settle down. Some of the caramel notes are starting to come through from it. This is that's the fun of getting a bunch of these every year, and then saving some for previous years that you get to see how they develop, how they open up. And I know a bunch of us are sitting on verticals of these, some older ones. So one of the 21s and one of the 22s will be put aside to eventually hit that vertical, which is all the way back from 94. And here it comes. We knew it'd make a showing.
This is 7 years old right now. It's 2016.
So one of these days we'll We got to sit down and do that vertical while we still can do the vertical.
Exactly.
2018, 2019, they did the non-spiced version.
They did the non-spiced version in 2018 and 2019.
Winter warmer, and I was very disappointed.
Mm.
And then I thought better of it, and the more I drank out of the 6-pack, the more I enjoyed it. So,
Well, your mind was like you were expecting one thing because you for so long have been having that, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Still trying to remember what my oldest one is.
I'm I had we don't have to talk about why, but I had many. I had stuff going back to. We did a vertical in 2013. John, you know the story. Brian, I'm not sure you do. Anybody that's listening, if you haven't heard the story already, we did a vertical back in 2013 from 18 years, 96 through 2013. We did a vertical because that was the oldest that we had. And 18 years though, 96 through 2013. The best tasting one out of those 18 that night was 98. 98 tasted the so a 15-year-old beer tasted the best out of all of them. Now they were all delicious, mind you. I'm not saying they were all, drain pours by any means. They were all delicious.
We can pick up where you left off.
What do you got? 2013. There you go. There you go.
Right there.
Pick right up there.
I'm not sure if that's the oldest one in here, but it's the oldest one that I pulled out.
Remember, Samurai, your mic picks up everything. So all anybody heard just then was you crinkling a paper.
Crinkling paper like this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like that. Sorry, folks. He knows not what he does.
I know not what I do.
Anyway, mine, same, really. Sam Smith's Winter Welcome. Which Catamount, Harpoon Winter Warmer, Sam Winter, and Anchor. Those were the go-tos. Well, all within a couple of years became staples for the holidays for me. Had to have them right now. There's so many more now.
Oh, God.
Right? It just goes on and on. I mean, even my 2 trips to get Christmas ales and winter beers, over the last month and change. There's still 2 or 3. There's still 3 different beers that I haven't had on any show that we've done since I've gotten them, and I don't know. I'll have one next week. I know I have one next week, but
I just gave John one that I had 2 weeks ago.
You did, and I'll have that on January 9th show. I said, yeah, I'm gonna have that. So, but yeah, and I'm gonna have another one on that day too. So, but it's more of a winter beer anyway. So having it in January on the show is fine. It's not like I'm drinking a Mad Elf in February, Although I have been known to drink a Mad Elf in July, but that's for a different reason. So, anyway,
who would do such a thing? Yeah.
Who would do such a thing?
Who would
Exactly? Anybody else switching up for their second beer besides Samurai at the moment?
Yeah, we got a Florida beer here with appropriate title, No Snow Days, right? Infinite Brewing out of Ocala, and this No Snow Days it says German chocolate porter.
Oh, very nice.
It's a porter. It's got coconut in there, and they actually put German chocolate cake in there. So
also there's walnuts and
yeah, well,
very nice.
I've not had.
But by the way, Brian, absolutely no snow days in Florida, right? But thanks to global warming, not very many in New Jersey either now.
No. So that's from horse country right there. So hope it's not too horse blanket and flight.
Horse country and the Villages, which is just a weird place if you've ever been.
That's great.
Is that where everyone just drives around in their golf carts?
Yes.
Yeah. I've heard of it. It's a tight community though. They have fun there, and
I don't even know why I ended up there once, but yeah, it was like it was like my visit to Wall Drug in my trip to cross country, moving to California. It's just, you walk in and just everyone looks at you and they know they're not from these here parts.
Well, first of all, every one of us here would be too young to be there, correct?
Yeah, it's not a retirement village.
No, but why are they? Every time I see pictures from there, everyone seems to be ancient, or is it just? Maybe that's where Cocoon was filmed.
Could be. That would explain a lot.
Could very well be. John, you get onto your second year. You're still working on the.
Just about to. I think that's a good cue to go and crack it open.
Very good. That looks delicious.
It
No snow
is.
days. Brian, I'm not telling you what to do, but you might want to send a can of that to your brother so you can split it with somebody.
Who would I split that with? Yeah, I'd split it with Gene.
Yeah, of course you would. Right, of course you would. She's gonna go, yay! Right now.
What's great about it, and you would actually appreciate this, Dave, because it's not sweet at all. It's got the coconut, which you can get a little hint of. The chocolate is really prevalent, from the I guess chocolate cake, but somehow or another, just kind of the bitterness and roasted malts. It's not super sweet.
You called it, John.
I'll put it up. He smiled. There you go. Thanks, Gene.
Well, you always share with Gene, otherwise you get that
TFTI. Right, exactly.
He actually created a TFTI Facebook group for us to all post to in case we're going somewhere. So no one had to post TFTI. And you know what? None of us ever post to it. So we always get yelled at anyway with the TFTI. And Gene's actually probably the worst at remembering to post to his own group.
I think he is. Public service announcement, people. Anybody listening? Anybody in California listening? Please join the California Let's Talk Craft Beer group on Facebook. I am now the admin of that group. And anybody in Florida that likes craft beer wants to join the Florida Let's Talk Craft Beer group.
You're looking at two of the admins.
Both Brian and Dave are the admins of that group. So.
It makes more sense that my brother is one of the admins because he lives there.
So.
But he kind of got sick and tired of it, and so he made me jump back into it.
Back into it, and we got to build up, John. We got to not. I mean, I love the only Facebook group out of Georgia for all intents and purposes that I care about is the Honest Craft Beer Reviews group, or for that matter, the Bruguru, right? But obviously Steve Nicaro. Is the gentleman that created all of the Let's Talk Craft Beer, all the different states, right? And there's the Georgia one. The Georgia one, for some reason, isn't public. The Georgia one is private, and there's only like 100 people that follow it. So I'll talk to Steve, and I'll have him make both of us admins, and we can work on it.
There we go. Make you the admin in Minneapolis.
Just post everything, and I got to do Minneapolis.
Let's just, you know what? Let's just pull up a map of the states.
Right.
And we'll just, between the four of us, we'll just each take this state, that state.
You take that quarter, I'll take this quarter.
There we go.
There you go.
No, we'll do it just like picking teams for kickball.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there you go.
Just do it that way.
And John, and it'll be easy for Georgia, right? Just repost everything from Honest Craft Beer Reviews to the Georgia Let's Talk.
There you go.
You know what?
It might take a while. I'll be spamming the group for a while, but
you have two results.
Well, if you're the admin, you're not spamming the group, right?
That's true. That's true.
There'd be two results of this. One, it makes Steve very happy.
Right.
Two, we wouldn't go live until about 8:30 p.m. even though we'd say 6:30 because John would be posting the show to every one of these groups.
Every single one of them, right? Exactly. Well, it already goes to probably about
30.
Probably, close to 30 states. Yeah. But anyway, and a few others, of course, Honest Craft Beer Reviews and Beer Whisperer, Ozarks page, and so forth.
Beer Whisperer.
Anyway,
I know that guy.
That guy. He might be watching right now. I'm not sure.
This might be the first beer I post, but I just cracked a Jekyll Redneck Christmas Stout.
Oh yeah, you told me about that before. You found that today.
Yeah, I've been drinking this for about 10 years, and it is a coffee chocolate peppermint.
Wow, you are milking the hell out of that beer.
Yeah.
You haven't even been in that glass 10 years.
Yeah. But I haven't been able to find it this year in cans to save my life. I had it on drafted Taco Mac, and this year's is really, really good. I went to the brewery in Woodstock, and they didn't have it in cans. And I was like, okay, well, I'll have a draft while I'm here. But was out Christmas shopping with the wife today, and she's like, oh, we're here in Canton. And she's like, is that a new liquor store? And she's like, you should stop there. And so we did. And lo and behold, they had a couple 6-packs of it. So
there you go. Well, speaking of looking for cans of something, John's heart was broken this year because Avery did not distribute Old Jubilation into New Jersey. Apparently there was something going on with our distributor, and they haven't distributed any of the seasonal or special beers into New Jersey since Der Kaiser.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Oktoberfest. So there's something going on there.
We need to help them figure that out.
Yeah, I know a few people that do distribution into the state now. There's like 2 brewery owners that do it, and eventually, I guess they'll come to Loggerhead. But we need one of them to talk to Avery.
We need to talk to them. I did, however.
Talk to Almanac?
No. I did, however. Go through my. I was going through my cellar. Yesterday for the show, just to see if there's anything else I wanted to have. I had to get out the St. Bernardus.
Is your cellar really in the cellar?
It is.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you might be like the only person I know whose cellar is actually in the cellar.
And then I found 1 can of last year's Old Jubilation.
That'll be
so. This I'm going.
He will not be drinking that on the show.
No, I'm going to enjoy this on Christmas. This is good. This is good. This is going to be just for me.
No, I didn't see that.
Unless Jess says she wants some.
No, she doesn't like that beer. I'm good.
Great Divide Hibernation. I didn't see that either this year.
Great Divide Hibernation. I haven't.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what though, John? I'm considering they have it in stock at Total Wine and a couple of the Total Wines up and around Boston.
Oh.
I'm considering taking a ride one Saturday that I'm not doing anything, leaving early in the morning, taking a ride up to Boston, hitting Treehouse either on the way up or the way back, hitting night shift up there, and going to that Total Wine, like make it a day, right?
Yeah,
you go to that Total Wine and picking up some hibernation.
Yeah, that would be. I've got both of those beers. I've got some previous years, and those are beers that age well too. So,
yes.
But yeah, a road trip to Boston. You could pick up some other great stuff too. While
exactly. I mean, I could just make it a day. I can leave it. I'll leave at 6 a.m. on Saturday. I won't get back till midnight or whatever. But it's only 4 and change hours for me to get up to Boston. So,
yeah.
And I could hit things along the way too. Exactly. So, but cool.
If I still had my Sunbird, it'd be 2.5.
2.5. There you go. Just so everybody knows, I am drinking a 2021.
Let me know what notes you get out of that. See if you get the same thing as I did.
E sharp.
Very nice.
Which is anybody?
E sharp. E sharp is D flat.
No.
Oh, the other. Did I go the other direction?
You went the opposite way.
I went the wrong direction.
E sharp is actually F.
Because there is no such thing as.
Because there is no E sharp or F flat. F flat is E. E sharp is F. So there you go.
So I'm opening my third, John. I'm going to the course and dunk.
You're going to the
course. The way I figure it, if I don't have proper glassware, you just go as improper as you possibly can. So I'm going to go with my Bolero Snort can glass.
Oh my God, that's sacrilege right there. I mean, nothing against Bolero Snort, but to drink a Course and Dunk in a Bolero Snort can glass.
Well, I was wondering which direction you were going. Is it sacrilege because there's no lactose in this beer?
Well, the glass might be confused.
Oh, it just shattered in my hand.
So I almost had one tonight. I brought it out for props. Still at the cap, So
there we go.
But this is a great beer. I love this beer.
It is.
But I didn't. Really I chose not. Why? I chose not to have this beer on the show tonight. I had one on the Christmas in July show.
So did I.
And I know.
I had it on the Holiday Beer show.
You had it on the Holiday Beer show. You had St. Bernardus on the Christmas in July show. I had Course and Dunk. Tonight we switched.
Jeez, I wonder what my fourth beer is going to be.
Probably the same as my fourth beer.
I think so.
There you go. Anyway,
race you to it.
You'll probably beat me since I'm a quarter of my way through my second. You just poured your third, so you'll beat me there. So, anywho,
these are all 12 ounces. Something you guys are drinking like 16. So,
no, I've had 2 12 ounces so far. Anyway, Brian's the one that's drinking the 16s.
No, that's right. He's drinking the 16s.
Actually, John, your first one was the 16.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, my brother's going beast mode tonight.
Yes, there you go. Fair enough. All right.
Hey, hi, Bo. There he is.
There you go.
Bo brings the beer.
Bo brings the beer. I like that. That's beautifully alliterative.
All right. Beautifully alliterative. Bo brings the beer. I like that.
Bo brings the beer.
I like that.
I'll tell you
Anyway,
one thing, of course, about doing can glasses, probably not.
I don't think that was a good idea, but have at it. So,
But you know what? Now you got a chance to catch up while this.
this is true. This is true. I can do that. All right. So, actually, what's funny is my next question was going to be, besides Anchor, because we're drinking it now, and we all know. Look, we spoke, John. We spoke last week, Brian too. We spoke last week to Kevin from Almanac, and we were talking about how everybody, even out in San Francisco, feels about Anchor, and like everybody can't stand what Sapporo did and so forth and so on.
Oh, you don't say that. Don't say that word in San Francisco.
You can't say Sapporo in San Francisco right now. It's ridiculous.
Oh no, I was saying the word "did." They don't like that word.
They don't like did. They don't like the word did. Yeah, exactly. But in any event, I was going to say,
I am having fun with this.
Enjoy that. What holiday, besides Anchor, what holiday beer?
Afro.
There you go. What holiday beer no longer production do you miss the most? And we already said it, Catamount.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's just Catamount Christmas. So, let's switch it over to food. Food. Yeah, John. What's your favorite Christmas food? Not dessert or sweets, or we're getting to that. Obviously, we'll talk about that later. But food or foods to eat, around the holidays.
Well, this may seem strange, but a nice juicy orange. Because when I was a kid, it was a tradition, and for my dad when he was younger, and probably for my mom too. But our stockings got filled with oranges and apples and nuts, and maybe a little box of Christmas lifesavers, different things like that. But we always enjoyed those oranges, and I still today, around the holidays, we'll eat an orange every day and think back to those days. There's lots of other stuff too. We all do the traditional stuff. Christmas does, we're going to talk about sweets later maybe, but a lot of the stuff that you eat at Christmas time is kind of sweet stuff. You save the really good savory stuff for the day itself. But I think that's probably, to me, the ultimate Christmas treat.
Fair enough. Nice.
Have at it, brother. You John, you really stirred memories in my brother and I on this one.
Have at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, mine's just simple. I mean, I don't think this is from our childhood, but
you're not going to do it. Okay, I'll do it when you're. If you've forgotten.
I just do a rib roast each year. I look forward to that. I did a trial run last week because they were on sale at the Publix here, so I was like, might as well.
God, I miss Publix.
But they don't have the mango salsa anymore, by the way. But whole other story.
Hold on, I'm writing my congressman. What?
I've not seen that in months.
I'm sending my son on a mission.
Costco has mango salsa. You can get it at Costco.
No, they don't.
Same.
No,
maybe not that mango salsa. But they have mango salsa.
No one makes mango salsa.
I didn't say that.
The words mango.
They have mango salsa.
They may put the words mango salsa on, but you've not had mango salsa until you've had Publix mango salsa.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I've never had.
Publix is the magic word. I will say too, another holiday treat from that they make a very good one is coconut custard pie. You cannot get a coconut custard pie in Georgia to save your life. We had it at Christmas, Thanksgiving, every year up in Rhode Island, but thank God for Publix with that, because they make them in store in their bakery, and they're I don't know, Brian, if you get them at yours, but they're delicious. So.
Oh, their baked goods are really good.
The key lime pie.
Yeah.
So, John, the sandwich you had when you got home today after shopping with your wife, I mean, I got hungry, and I had already eaten lunch. I had just eaten lunch, maybe an hour, not even an hour before that, and I was hungry again just looking at that sandwich.
Yeah. Well, bread is the key component to any good sandwich.
Absolutely.
Lidl makes wonderful croissants, but the seltzers, Lebanon Bologna, just the smokiness of that.
God, yes.
I mean, against the cheese and the ham.
And you can get that at Lidl.
Lidl. That's where I got it. There was everything that we had for dinner came from Lidl today, and it was really, really good. So,
but back to that salsa. My brother told me about the salsa. I get the salsa. I get a bag of chips, and I text him, "Is it normal to finish the tub in one sitting?"
Yeah, it goes quicker if you get the scoops.
Yeah, you get more on the chip. So yeah,
It's more like it's a spoon made out of corn chip.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Samurai, what's your food?
Well, I'm gonna work off of what John said and refresh my brother's memory here. Our stockings, the toe of the
by the
stocking.
chimney with care.
My grandmother did everything with care, actually, and with care, the very toe of it was a walnut,
Mm-hmm.
and that walnut was kept in place by a tangerine every single year.
Yep.
So you mentioning oranges takes my brother and I both right back to ignoring that damn tangerine and going right for the lifesavers and the gold and the chocolate gold coins, but because you got them for Christmas. But I will always remember that there was that tangerine, there was that walnut every single year. Yeah.
And a Tolkien calendar.
And it's funny because, when she passed, I had to buy my own Tolkien calendars. And the first year, I didn't think about it, and I ordered it too late. They were gone.
There we go.
And it broke the streak of how many friggin' years? So
it was funny. You're talking about fruit. I won't mention for me, we all the food that we eat on, or that we ate, I should say, on Christmas, we had already just eaten on Thanksgiving, right? So we have turkey and lasagna on Thanksgiving. We talked about that on the holiday show. We do, and we basically growing up we did the same. We had turkey and lasagna. Lately, I've been doing a variant of that. Instead of making a whole lasagna, I just do baked ziti. Kind of the same.
I'm still lobbying for the chicken parm lasagna. I'm still trying to get Carrie to make a chicken parm lasagna.
Not a bad idea. But I do.
How has no one done that yet?
I don't know. I do ham instead of turkey on Christmas. But when you guys were talking about, and of course chestnuts, gotta have chestnuts. I don't care what we're eating, gotta have chestnuts.
I can't do chestnuts. That's a long story. I won't get into it because it'll make me cry. Anyway,
but in any event, you were talking about you were talking about tangerines. John was talking about oranges. My mother always used to get pomegranates, right? Now you can get pomegranates all year long, but always used to seem to get them around the holidays. Right?
That's my dad, and he would do pomegranates, dates, figs, all that good stuff.
And we don't call them that anymore. But what were they back when we were young?
Love apples?
Chinese apples?
Chinese apples.
Yeah.
Chinese apples, yeah.
Yeah.
Chinese apples, yeah.
I think that's what it's called in those days. Yeah.
Yeah, Chinese apples. Yeah, that's what it was. But in any event, yeah, it's always around November, December, January is always pomegranates. So that whenever I see a pomegranate, very rarely, I'll have pomegranate, obviously mostly in juice or anything like that. And once in a while I'll have a pomegranate. But most of the time when I look at that, and I see that pomegranate, I just think Chinese apple, and I think my mother and the holidays. So,
well, you're talking about the main dishes that you serve. My brother does.
I'm talking about the main dishes. I brought that up because you guys were talking about fruit.
Yeah, he brought up the standing rib roast, and what I do on Christmas, on the different holidays, I honor my different ethnic traditions. So for Christmas, it is, again, we've talked about her a lot. I honor my grandmother.
I thought you were going to say on Christmas you honor your different personalities.
No, there's too many. I couldn't. That'd be the feast of seven whatevers, at least
for the first course, and then. Yeah.
But no, so I do more of a British style. So one of my favorite things for the dinner, yes, I'll do a prime rib, and I'm asking my brother this: what do you do with the drippings with the prime rib?
You make Yorkshire pudding.
You make Yorkshire pudding. And so my mom would try it. My mom's Yorkshire pudding, there was like a third of it that was edible. There was a third of it that was just so dry that was ridiculous. And a third of it that sat so deep in that oil that it was just... My grandmother knew how to do it in the pan because she actually removed some of the oil before she did it. I found the cheating method to do it. You take a mini muffin pan, you take a teaspoon of the drippings, you heat that up in the oven first, and then a tablespoon of the batter in it, and they come out like little popovers, and they are friggin' crack. these things. You just keep
friggin'
popping.
crack.
But David, where was the best popover ever?
The best popover ever. There's, you mean the Neiman Marcus one?
No, the Neptune Circle.
I never had a popover there.
What? Gallagher's?
No, never did.
I was going to say Gallagher's or just on the circle.
Yeah.
No.
Some guy.
You had to dodge. I had to dodge traffic the whole time.
Right, exactly.
No, I never had a popover.
So, like, you had a popover in the bowling alley? I mean, it's like, you know.
Because you got to remember, any place. Remember back then, any place we ever went. What did I order? Any place we went.
The most expensive thing on the menu?
No. Spaghetti.
If somebody else,
He's actually channeling himself there. My brother had very rich tastes at a very young age. No, every place we ever went, spaghetti meatballs, right? I always order spaghetti meatballs, and I like the little spaghetti meatballs with my Parmesan cheese.
Well, we're still not sure if he was switched with the Italian baby at hospital.
I that wouldn't shock me to find that out. That if you told me that that's what happened, like
that was Mrs. Marino. Mrs. Marino gave birth the same day as my mom did. Everyone swore that the children were swapped, but I had my DNA done, and I was kind of disappointed that was not the case.
Related. Sorry, man.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I'll tell you guys that I probably have maybe a little different challenge. Because having moved down here and married a Georgia gal, Christmas and Thanksgiving became a very different. The menu became very different.
Better or worse, or just different.
My wife may watch this later, so I am going to say better. But I grew up in New England, and my grandmother and my mother would make. We'd have turkey, we'd have ham, we'd have boiled onions, we'd have turnips and carrots and butternut squash mashed, and all that good stuff. Stuffing, New England style stuffing in the bird. And all that stuff went out the window down here. Even mashed potatoes, which is the one area where I've won the battle. Because they usually did potato salad down here.
Good for you. I applaud that as well. But you've got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, and actually they love my mashed potatoes. I make them every year. And
same here.
The secret is a stick of butter. Anyway, I did not get that from Paula Dean. That was a New England thing. She stole it from us.
Yes. But the other big secret is the ricer for me.
Oh no, I don't do that.
I use a ricer.
That's interesting.
A lot of people do. I've seen a lot of people doing that lately. They use a ricer for mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And bringing the cream up to room temperature.
Yeah. But the down here, it's sweet potato souffle, which instantly will spike your blood sugar to 350. They do the cornbread dressing in lieu of the traditional stuffing that I was used to. Most of the vegetables don't do any of that. Broccoli rice casserole is pretty good. I'll give them that one. But it was very much a bit of culture shock those first few holiday seasons. And even today, we alternate from year to year. There's a couple things I won't touch. Like I still make my turkey gravy with the pan drippings from the bird. She makes like a giblet gravy. And then something called English pea salad, which there's not many things in this world that I don't like, but I stay away. I wouldn't touch that one with a 10-foot pole, Mr. Grinch. And I'm not afraid to say it because she already knows I never eat that stuff. But it's one of the interesting things when you have a north-south relationship going on.
Yeah.
So.
Were you introduced to green bean casserole while you were down there?
Yeah, we do that.
I'm so sorry.
We never did that up north, but it's
and a mushroom soup. Throw some veggies in.
Yep.
And fried onions.
The turkey fried onions.
There you go.
Speaking of worst Christmas foods, not that you use the term worst, but save you there. When I lived in Boston, I valet parked at a lot of the restaurants there, and Gordon Hammersley from Hammersley's one year, he's just like, I'm ordering birds for Christmas. The staff's ordering them. You like to order, duck, turkey, goose. I'm like, I can order a goose, right? So a Christmas goose, right? This would be awesome, right?
God bless us, everyone.
Yeah, not so much. I mean, I did it, had a couple of roommates, and it could have been a great tradition, but no. No.
I can't talk my wife into trying to go. We did turducken one year, and I've never heard the end of that one. So
I'm still working on the chicken parmesan lasagna.
I've heard that somewhere. Before. I just to mention this, you're talking about all the dressings and everything else, and they're all fantastic. But to this day, I've never, ever once had raspberry dressing.
The schnozzelberries taste like schnozzelberries.
Yeah. Anyway,
well,
it is. It is a Christmas Carol day. So,
is that the Magoo Christmas Carol? You got that from, or where does that one come from?
Raspberry dressing. That is.
And from raspberry dressing.
Raspberry dressing.
Yeah, it's Mr. Magoo's.
It's Mr. Magoo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a striking resemblance to Mr. Magoo, John.
Magoo. You've done it.
You've done it again.
I gotta love that. I don't know whether I like that character or Thurston Howell more for Jim Backus.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's two entirely
different people, same guy. So
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. All right. Let's move on to. First of all, anybody need a changing a beer out already? Because I'm about to. But
I'm really close to my fourth, John.
You're close to your fourth. I'm gonna pour my third, but that's fine. In any event, let's move on to we talked about movies, we talked about TV shows, we talked about songs. Let's talk about all of that.
Not today, on other shows you're talking.
On other shows.
Yes, there's people listening going, no, they didn't.
We did? I don't remember. Did I miss something? Rewind. Yeah. John, what's your we're not doing top threes here, obviously. We'll do the top three list at the end of the show.
We got an official one.
But what's your favorite one, right? What's your favorite? If you need to mention two, that's fine, whatever. What's your favorite holiday movie? One that you have to watch. If for some reason you can only watch one, that's the one you have to watch.
Well, apropos to the day, I am a huge Charles Dickens fan. He's my favorite author. Christmas Carol is probably my favorite novel in the entire world. And my opinion of the best version of that movie.
Novella.
Novella. There you go.
Yeah.
But George C. Scott's was it 82, 83,
yeah, 84 that's a good one.
Version sounds about right. Yeah.
I have to see that every year because you just can't do better. He is Scrooge in that, and there's great.
He is. You're absolutely right.
The TNT version with Patrick Stewart was really good too, and of course
that one.
Sims,
I would play that for my kids all the time.
The Patrick Stewart.
Yes, I had the DVD of him reading it.
He didn't strike me visually as Scrooge. That was the only setback on that.
That's why I could only listen to it.
Well, there's a lot of little scenes in that one though, like the coal miners and the ship at sea and the lighthouse. They're all in the book, but are not in any other versions. And I like those little touches like that. So
there was a musical version of it that I liked a lot. There was a song called "Thank You Very Much."
Albert Finney.
Albert Finney. I love that version of it.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, that one I enjoyed, and I love why I love that song. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. The first time you hear that song, the nicest thing that anyone ever did for them was die.
Yeah,
but then.
That's what they're saying. Scrooge died
because he dies,
yep.
And then, but when they say it again, it's because Scrooge is now reformed and is, giving them stuff and all that. And now they're singing his praises. So I just love that little juxtaposition with that one song, same exact words, entirely different meaning. And I think that was the genius of that one particular version of it.
That's a great version. And what I like from version to version 2 is the little variations that they throw in that are not in the book. And that one has the part where he's in his grave and going to hell and and some other stuff. But those can really add to the enjoyment of a different interpretation.
Oh, there's so many great interpretations of it because you've got the Muppet version, you've got Scrooged.
Scrooge is one of my
with Bill Murray. Yeah.
Right, John. My top 3 Christmas movies was not Scrooged is right there near the top.
Scrooge is on my top 5, not my top 3, but it's my top 5.
My top 3. And then there was the Buddy, the Buddy Hackett version of it. Oh no, wait a sec. That was actually in Scrooged. That was the version within the version.
Yeah, exactly.
with the solid gold dancers, right?
Solid gold dancers. Yeah. These I can't glue these antlers to these little mice. Did you try staples?
It's such a great novella.
Yeah.
It's not just there are so many different and wonderful interpretations of it
really
on
is.
film, but even like audiobooks. Like there's one Tom Baker did from Doctor Who fame.
Doctor Who's topic, my favorite Doctor Who.
That is a really great reading of that book. There's another one that Tim Curry did, audiobook version. It's just, and there's even some sequels that people have written to the book that are really, really great. And that are worth checking out. So,
nice. But so many like US sitcoms have done takes on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're all, it's not just a movie at that point. It's just a half-hour sitcom. Squeeze that entire novella into
all 5 staves of it.
All 5 of them, into a half an hour show. It's pretty cool that they can do that, and how they do it, it's the ones that have done it better, it was done really well. But we can mention all of those. But having a Christmas Carol, and there's so many movies based on that you can say were your favorite, but that's awesome. Brian, yours?
Well, before you move on, one of those is actually Family Man.
Family Man is actually absolutely a Scrooged.
It doesn't go through the 3 ghosts, but it's kind of a mashup between A Christmas Carol and It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, which It's a Wonderful Life in itself is a variation on A Christmas Carol, right?
It is correct.
He is basically visited by supernatural powers to show him, what is going wrong in his life, but so many other things that are great. With Scrooge, it's a little different because with Scrooge, it's what he's done to other people and needs to change. But
right.
But exactly. very similar.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my wife would go with all the classics, so that would be her list. I don't have favorites. It's just I get sucked into anything, and the kids, Elf, Home Alone, The Grinch, they always want to watch those every year, so they've just kind of been associated with Christmas with the kids. And thought, lesson learned. Thought I would change it up. I hadn't seen it in years, and I remember like Love Actually is a great movie. It's a Christmas movie. Let's watch something different. And I was reminded that, all right, well, this maybe isn't the best movie to watch with your kids, but
halfway through, I hate that you're watching a movie, you're like, oh shit, I forgot about this part.
Oh, guys, it's heartwarming. Just ignore.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Dave, and I'll mention something to Brian's point in a minute, but do yours first. What would be yours?
Well, there's so many, and there's I'm not going to take John's. It's one of the classics, and we'll hear more from John. But the one, and I'm on the second one now. We'll watch the third one probably tomorrow. And I really think it's an amazing. Think what you will about the acting in it, but the Santa Claus.
I know you're going to go there.
The Santa Claus is just such a wonderful story. One of the best things about it is one of the personalities in the New Jersey craft beer world is actually one of the stars of the Santa Clauses, and that would be Krumholtz.
Dave Krumholtz,
yeah. If you're in Brick City on the right day, you could be sitting right next to Bernard the head elf. And
sometimes he actually jumps behind the bar and pours.
Yes, he does. And the best part is the last time that I saw him, Carrie and I are sitting in Brick City, and I look at her and said, "That's David Krumholtz." She goes, "No, it's not." And I'm sitting right next to him. She goes, "No, it's." She goes, "Are you sure?" I'm like, so I turn around, like, "Hey, Dave." She doesn't believe you're David Krumholtz. He goes, "Oh, I am."
She doesn't believe you're you. Prove it to her.
It was like, because if you see him, he rarely ever looks like his characters on the shows that he's on, because he doesn't like to shave. And there's almost every show that you ever see him in, he's clean shaven. So, but I really do like the stories. We're going to go into 3. I think 3 is the weakest. Despite that Martin Short's in it, and Martin Short's a friggin' treasure.
Have you watched the series on?
I know the series, and I know that Principal Newman's in it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that actress is in it. I know some of the actresses and actors from the originals are in these, so I do want to then start that after we finish with 3. But there is one thing. There is one Christmas movie that a lot of people forget is actually a Christmas movie. Trading Spaces.
Yeah.
Places.
Trading Places.
Trading Spaces is a home improvement.
That's is it, or is that where
that played off the name Trading Places and
right,
gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie. It is.
But you haven't seen the 2 follow-on series on Disney? Is that what you're saying? And you're planning to watch those for Santa Clauses?
Yeah.
I thought they were pretty good, so I think you're going to enjoy them.
Awesome.
They are for what they're intended to be. They're fun. So
and
Alan's daughter is in them too, which was kind of interesting. I didn't know who that his daughter was in there, and she's like, I think in the first 12 or 13, and he's like 70. But yep, he's got a young daughter, and she's in it. So, but
I need a vote here. Need a vote because the star of this particular movie came out and said it was not a Christmas movie. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes, Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Yes.
Staradumsky?
I think so, yes.
Yes, it's a Christmas movie.
Brother?
I think ultimately if the viewer thinks it's a Christmas movie, then it's a Christmas movie. And a lot of viewers think Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
More people think it's a Christmas movie than don't. So
I mean, it takes place at Christmas. So there you
exactly.
go. So
yep.
Exactly.
Christmas party.
If it's not, Love Actually isn't either, right?
Right. Fair enough.
Well, because Alan Rickman is in both.
Right.
There you go.
One of my favorite actors.
So
Does that make Dogma a Christmas movie?
Which one?
Dogma. No, it doesn't. Never mind.
Dogma's not a Christmas movie.
It's like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is a Christmas movie because
everything with Alan Rickman in it from here on out will be considered a Christmas movie.
Ergo, it's a Christmas movie. Yeah.
So all of the Harry Potters are Christmas movies.
Yes, there you go.
Yes,
there you go. CBGB is a Christmas movie.
Wow.
So to Dave's point before, talking about Crumholes, yeah, he does not shave.
He doesn't shave.
There you go. There you go. Yeah,
unlike John, I'm sitting right next to him. I didn't take a selfie.
Well, to that point, no, I do that. I know.
John loves his selfies.
No. I did that for the Instagram for the brewery that I worked for, Defiant. And speaking of that, that's my point where I was going next with that. On that, Defiant has every year they have their abominable snow fest. They have a snow beer fest at the brewery, right? So many years ago, it was probably
punctuated at the end of it by a massive snowball fight. It's awesome.
It's awesome, yeah. So it was right before the pandemic, I think. And I'm up there and I'm pouring, and right next to me is Two Villains, and Dave Krumholz is pouring for Two Villains, and he's getting ready to leave. So I'm walking over, and he and I are talking for like 10 minutes before he leaves. So, take care, Bowman. There's somebody walking over. All right, we'll see you later. All right, have a good one. He leaves. And I turn around and I grab the glass and I start pouring a beer for whoever was standing in line. And she looks at me, she goes, "Is that Bernard the head elf?" Right? I go, no, it's just he everybody says that to him. He looks that way. It just yeah. Disregard. She's like, "Oh, okay.
He does make an appearance in the series too, so
yeah,
he's back.
Well, the first time I met him was up at an event in
Beer
Brooklyn.
Fest in Brooklyn, yeah.
And he walks past me. He looks homeless. And I look at speaking of Bolero Snort, Scott Wells was there.
Oh, all right. I thought that was homeless. Speaking of Bolero
Snort. But Scott Wells is there. I look at Scott, I'm like, dude, that guy's a dead ringer for Krumholz. He goes, that's because that is Krumholz.
It is.
So I'll introduce you.
Yeah.
I'm like, And so he pulls him over. He's like, yeah, sorry, dude. He made you like that.
He made you like that.
He doesn't like to be pointed out. So
he doesn't. Yeah, he'll talk to everybody, but he doesn't like to talk about himself.
He loves to talk about craft beer, though.
Mm-hmm.
Loves to.
Anyway, so my favorite, as Dave pointed out before, is The Christmas Story.
He's been to the house.
I've been to the house.
There's a restraining order against John because he keeps trying to get.
No, it was only a 6 month. It's over. It's good.
Oh, it's passed.
It's good. Yeah. So what's funny is, I mean, I've been watching the movie since I saw it in the theater, right? Obviously, so we go to the house and we take the tour, and there's a 21-year-old kid giving the tour, and he's doing really well. He's doing a really good job, but he's asking these questions, right? He's asking, "Do you know this and do you know that?" Obviously, not expecting anybody to know, so he can enlighten them and educate them or whatever. And I answer every question, right? So like the fourth or the fifth one, he goes, "Do you want to give the tour?" I'm like, "No, you're doing great. You keep doing it."
Now, Peter
Stop
Billingsley,
asking the questions if you want.
Peter Billingsley then became not quite a cameo, but had a small role in a new Christmas classic. John mentioned it earlier. He's an elf.
Oh, he is an elf. Yes, he is. You're right. Here he is.
He is actually an elf. He's one of the
You know
elves.
what? You know what? I mean, I got to be honest with you. When Elf first came out, I wasn't a big fan. I love Will Ferrell, but I thought it was just like over the top what he was doing,
But
right?
but it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I'm saying the first time I watched the movie,
Yep.
I was like,
I just watched it again.
But
The other night.
now I can. Now it was on
It's like-
it was on like a marathon a couple of weeks ago. I watched like 2 or 3 times. I watched.
Yeah.
it.
The more you watch it, and as the years go by, it definitely grows on you.
Yeah.
So,
What did you say, Brian? Because you got stepped on.
For the month after watching it, I just want to hit every light on the elevator.
Now, here's a few interesting things about that movie. There is no elevator in the Empire State Building that has every floor. That has access to every floor.
Yeah,
That's
there's
one.
half and there's
You got to switch
stagger them.
elevators. You have to transfer in the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
The other thing is Bob Newhart.
Oh, it's great. I love
When Bob
Newhart.
Newhart was given the script, he immediately signed up and said to his wife, "This is one of these movies. This is a new movie that will be one of those movies everyone will watch every year." Newhart knew it the second he read the script that this was going to be a new classic because he's fucking Newhart.
You know who directed it too, right?
Oh, the person who has pretty much directed everything that we love in the past couple of years, who's not Filoni.
yeah.
Favreau, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I have to tell you too. So, I have a favorite that I mean, I have to see a lot of movies every year, and I do usually. But there's one that I think is a really great movie for handed down generation after generation. And for me, it's March of the Wooden Soldiers.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah.
Well,
Laurel and Hardy. Because
yeah.
I watched it with my dad, and then my kids watched it with me, and now we watch it with my grandson. And I mean,
That's a Thanksgiving movie for me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's you got to watch it on Thanksgiving or right around Thanksgiving or whatever. I'm gonna watch it anytime. I love the movie.
Yeah.
I love Laurel and Hardy too. I'll watch any Laurel and
I
Hardy.
do
You put
too.
Laurel and Hardy on, I'll sit there for hours just watching
Yeah.
Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, I'm a big Laurel and Hardy. fan.
Have an accident? No thanks.
That one?
We just had one.
we're missing one movie, and I was certain John was going to bring it up.
Christmas Vacation.
There it is.
There you go.
Another one.
Yeah. There you go.
Them's good eating, Clark.
Them's good eating, Clark. It's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark. Shitter's full. I've just seen that about 4 times already this year. Like
It's not from Christmas Vacation, it's from Original Vacation, but it's still probably my favorite line from any of the vacations.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy says I'm the best kisser.
That was
Jane Krakowski.
Jane Krakowski. Yeah.
Just like
It's like every one of those vacations, the Rusty and Audrey were different actors.
Yep.
Obviously,
that's right.
Anthony Michael Hall and Jane Krakowski in the first one.
Yep.
It was in Christmas Vacation. It was Juliette Lewis, and I always forget his name. He was the one that played. He was in Roseanne, and he was also in Big Bang Theory.
Galecki, right? Johnny
Like
Galecki.
David.
Johnny Galecki. Yeah.
Galecki. Yeah, Galecki.
Yeah.
So and I think I don't even remember ever seeing anybody that was in European Vacation, either of the two, Rusty or Audrey, ever again. Like it was that was one-offs for them. But Ethan Embry and I forget who the other one was in Vegas Vacation were them. So anyway, and then the other one we mentioned it. My top 5. We just did it on the Get On With It Sports podcast last week. We did our top 5 Christmas movies, and mine were
shameless plug for John's sports podcast.
Shameless plug, yeah. Was Die Hard, Scrooged, in going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Die Hard, Scrooged, Die Hard Scrooge, Trading Places, Christmas Vacation, and Christmas Story. So that was mine.
There you go.
Anyway, all right. Let me ask you. TV specials. I mean, there's not many. They're all from when we were kids. There really isn't any more. They still play the same ones when we were kids. You know.
Before we get there, can I say one thing about this?
Please do.
The Christmas specials.
Mm-hmm.
The word special.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to key in on that word. When we were kids, they were special.
They were special.
They're not special anymore because you can watch them anytime of any day of any year.
Yes.
When we were children, you had one shot.
Yes.
If you missed that shot, if you were in the other room and you heard that bongos playing and that I don't know why they use bongos for a Christmas special, but that word special went spiraling in on the screen. You ran, you planted your ass down.
Yep.
And that was your only shot that year to watch it. So they were, when we were kids, they were special and there was magic to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that magic's gone because now they're so available.
Yeah, but not 100%. I hear what you're saying, and I agree, but not 100%.
The only reason the magic's not gone for us is we remember.
We do remember it. But here's the thing, though. They played, for instance, Rudolph. CBS aired Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Smack the mic again.
I know. Sorry about that. Aired Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer a couple weeks ago on a Monday night at 8:00. All right. But they aired it. It wasn't, go on Netflix. It wasn't streaming, right? It wasn't streaming. It was aired with commercials and everything else. CBS aired it, so I put it on. The kids weren't. My kids are adults anyway. My daughter's gonna be 30 next month, but I still put it on. I don't even
add a corollary to that theory.
I still put it on. I sat and watched at least half of it while it was on at CBS.
Everything you say is true, and you did. You had to be there. You had to be on time and watching the show because if you missed it, you didn't see it until the next year. In a lot of cases,
that was it.
But my dad was an early adopter of VHS. It was 78, 79. I think we got our first video player, and the very first thing ever that he recorded,
like our grandfather,
was Flintstone Christmas. And,
oh yeah.
We watched that over and over and over again. And in those days, that made it even more special because it was one of the first few things that you could watch repeatedly, right? And we would have kids come over and they'd, can we watch a Flintstones Christmas on your VCR? And, even to this day, I will still watch that and think of, all those years ago when that was so much fun. But it was so special for all the reasons that you say, because, for everything else, nope. You couldn't do, and for so long for all of us, if you missed it, you missed it. And today,
you're right. You're absolutely right. We did that, and my father got our first VCR. It was probably 79, and it was probably if memory serves, it was like the summer of 79. But that Christmas, it wasn't the first thing that was videotaped. But that Christmas, I taped, or he taped, we taped, he taped. Rudolph and Frosty.
So I'll let my brother explain my grandfather and technology.
We always had to have the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
How many Betamax players do you think he bought?
Oh yeah, I mean,
he probably had 3 Betamaxes before he bought the first VHS.
The technology in Betamax blew away VHS.
Yeah, that's true.
But
the marketing sucked.
Oh yeah, sorry, it was too expensive too.
It's like
he had probably every Polaroid camera ever released. But now, question for the panel.
Is that what we are?
For now.
Now,
for all intents and purposes. For
all intensive purposes.
No, intents and purposes. But before I do that, I want to point out my brother had to turn around one of his Christmas ornaments there, and the reason he did so, he saw me laugh when he did it, because that is one of his favorite breweries. That white one that's right there near the top there. That brewery is which?
Civil Society.
Civil Society. That's
Civil Society.
Damn good brewery. But no, the question for the panel. I hope
you don't have a Nobo Brewing Christmas ornament there on the tree.
The only thing is, if there was a Nobo Brewing, their head bartender would make it filthy.
Yeah.
Just a picture of Darren's face. Right on the
No, it'd be a shape of a dildo. It was Darren was. At any rate, the question for the panel here is, what do you remember was the first special that aired every year? Because 2 weeks ago, John, we had a discussion. We had a disagreement as to which one the first one was.
I always remember Rudolph airing first, but I could be wrong. So
I thought it was Rudolph.
I said Rudolph. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Rudolph. Yeah. Brian?
Rudolph Frosty, but I think it was Rudolph.
Rudolph was always the
first
one.
John, the first one that aired every year?
I remember Charlie Brown Christmas.
See, that was the other one. That was the other one brought up 2 weeks ago was Charlie Brown. So it's between Charlie Brown and Rudolph. I always thought it was Rudolph.
I think Charlie Brown always came later.
Yeah, it could be. It's just maybe the ones we happen to remember. But
I mean, hey, look, how long ago was it for all of us? Right?
There's no right answer here because we're not going to.
Unless we go get the TV guide from 1972, we're never going to know.
And you know what? I don't care to know.
Right, exactly.
Because the memories of this.
I want to remember what I remember.
Exactly. That's it. That's what's special about all of this.
I'm pretty sure Rudolph first aired in '64, which is the year I was born.
No, I'm not talking about the earliest year.
Rudolph was '64.
I'm not talking about the earliest year it aired. I'm talking about every single year, which was the first special that came on.
Yeah. No, I get that much, but for me, I think I seem to remember Charlie Brown, but I don't even know that it was the same year to year. So
yeah, that's
true too. It could have been
that's also possibly the case.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, John, I'll pour my fourth. I'll wait for you to get to your fourth.
Fair enough, because it's gonna be the same fourth. I'll get there in like 3 minutes. I'll be there.
I'm gonna ask my brother. As you got to your third, you gave me a list of 5, and I've only seen you pour 2. I saw Bo bring you more.
Yeah, I have them. Should I do the 22? Was that you said that was too pungent?
2 is still a little on the harsh side.
Okay.
You might want to go one of your others and let that sit for a little bit and rest and meld.
There we go.
Chef Hendricks.
That's a damn good one.
Nice beer.
And I just poured a Harpoon Winter Warmer.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm still looking for that, John. Ever since you scored that glass on eBay, I have literally not stopped looking for that glass on eBay.
They're so rare. I looked for them for the longest time, and I think I told you guys the story. But the first time when I scored it, I got a dreaded email from the seller, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't find the glass, or I broke the glass, or whatever it was." And I'd won the auction, and I was like, "No!" It's like it's like getting to the gates of heaven, and then St. Peter says your name's not on the list, right?
Puts his boot in your face. And...
yeah, just like Christmas Story, right?
So, exactly.
You'll shoot your eye out,
little kid. Boom.
But then I finally found one. So they exist, but I believe they're very rare.
You can have the day you found that glass. I have not stopped looking on eBay.
You can have eBay email you when it comes up.
Yep, you can. You can have a saved search, and they'll send you. Yeah.
So, on that note,
I should have told him that because now I won't get mine if he gets to it first.
John, you were talking about John, you were talking about Charlie Brown Christmas. One of my and we'll talk about songs in a minute. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up. Whatchamacallit, one of my favorite songs, and I'll start it by saying one of my favorite songs is from a Charlie Brown Christmas, and that's Christmas Time Is Here.
Yep.
Such a great song. I love that song. It's not my favorite. It's my number 2. But
my favorite moment from Charlie Brown Christmas, Lights Please.
There you go.
That, and the thing is, John knows, my brother knows, I'm not the most religious person, but Linus giving that speech from Luke, that gets me every damn time. But that's the meaning of Christmas, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Christmas Time Is Here. It was Vince Guaraldi that wrote and performed. But he didn't write it. Lee. Oh God, Lee something. I forget his name.
I sense another selfie coming up.
It is. Yeah. Lee, whatever. But Vince Guaraldi performed it. And also David Benoit is a jazz pianist. Has performed it many times. He's performed all of Charlie Brown's music, and he basically, once Vince Guaraldi passed, he took over and basically has done all of the Charlie Brown piano. He's an amazing jazz musician.
Has he toured recently?
He has toured. And yeah, I saw him.
There he is.
Just a couple weeks ago. Actually yes, thank you, Jessica. Had a wonderful conversation with him for about 15 minutes before the picture was taken. So
we're gonna another question to the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Should Jersey Johnny change his name to Selfie Johnny?
I got more jerseys than selfies. I can't do that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Maybe
just be restricted to making selfies only in jerseys.
Well, no, it depends on what the selfies you're talking about. Selfies with me or selfies with me and one of you guys or whatever. I'm not included. Selfies with notable people. I have more jerseys than those. So
barely,
but I do. So in any event, but yeah, no. Honestly, though, he's an amazing jazz pianist, and he came out. He was touring to do the Charlie Brown Christmas songs, right? But he came out and he played 5 of his hits, and Jess is looking at me, and she has heard some stuff, and she listens to stuff, but she's not as into the that type of music as I am or whatever. And she's looking at me, and I'm sitting there, and I'm drinking my Carton O-Dub,
which they serve
at
the theater.
My $14 Carton O-Dub. All right. And just sitting back and enjoying every second of what he was playing. It was just amazing. So, but anyway, so obviously, and my number one, that's my number 2. My number 1 Christmas song of all time is "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," which was written in 1950 something for Meet Me in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. Yep. So go around, John. Start. What's your favorite Christmas song?
Ooh, very difficult. Because I love Christmas music. I start listening to it around Thanksgiving.
I started listening to it in July. So.
Well, I do that too. I like a lot of German Christmas music.
Oh yeah,
there's a surprise.
No.
German pop.
Shocker.
But I do like
Stille Nacht.
Stille Nacht. Lots of different ones. A lot of Wolfgang Petri Christmas music, and then other more
Hasselhoff singing Christmas music.
Not Hasselhoff, no.
I'm just joking.
I do like Boston Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops.
Oh hell yeah!
Version of March of the Wooden Soldiers, actually. So that's one of my favorites. But
loved Arthur Fiedler.
But Frank Sinatra too. Love a lot of Sinatra Christmas music too. Jingle Bells, right? It's hard to get better than that. So there's just so much good stuff out there.
Brian,
any Christmas songs. Well, I have to. No, I'm not going to say that because there's some out now where.
So you're a big Mariah Carey fan, is what you're
saying. But
we put her back on ice.
The music makes Christmas for me, and David, you know this, right? Our grandparents went to every garage sale they could. They bought albums before I was buying albums with my paper route money. So we had a room in our house where one whole wall was shelves just filled with random albums. And as a kid, I would just go in there and explore and find what was in there. And they had the Elvis Presley Christmas album, a gatefold album, which was a collector's. I didn't know it at the time. And I would just play that. So out of all the songs, and the whole thing is great, but Blue Christmas, and Becky makes fun of me, like, that's your favorite Christmas song. That's depressing. But it's just... It's perfect.
It just reminds you of being in that house.
Was that?
Just reminds you of being in that house again.
Two songs. On that note, I'm not cutting you off. I am, but keep that thought. 2 songs remind me of my father still has a jukebox, 1953 Seaberg jukebox in his basement. Pool table. We had all the Christmas, every Christmas Eve, every New Year's Eve, everything else, whatever. He had 2 Christmas songs in the jukebox. He had Elvis Presley, Blue Christmas, and he had the Drifters, White Christmas. So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, you were done. You were done. That was it. There you go. Dave?
I'm going to back it up a month or so. Because we don't really talk about Thanksgiving a lot on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, but and my brother knows where I'm going with this. My mom,
Mhm.
every Thanksgiving, you had to play Arlo Guthrie. You had to play the Massacre, Alice's Restaurant Massacre. And this year, I was proud as hell. My 14-year-old daughter insisted on that being played on Thanksgiving. So the tradition's passed down. 14
Lovely.
years old, and she's demanding Arlo Guthrie be played
Nice.
on Thanksgiving. So yeah, my 19-year-old son informed me of that. He goes, "Thanks, Dad."
Yeah.
Now you got Olivia.
Was he blaming you, or was he appreciative?
No, I don't think he was that appreciative. But when it comes to the Christmas music, my brother knows this. I did Christmas tapes. I did Christmas CDs. They got distributed. My mom had the whole collection at one point. So many people had the whole collection. Many people still year after year will text me like, "Yeah, I'm playing your CDs." That stopped about 5 years ago when people stopped playing CDs because no one has a CD player anymore. But I really enjoyed it.
This is my music right here.
Yeah, exactly. It's all on the phone now. But there's so many things, like the very special Christmas albums, right? The ones that went towards the Special Olympics. And you had so many artists put so many amazing songs in there. And I think my favorite song that came out of there was Blues Traveler's Christmas. That's just, God, I love that song. It is.
Bob Seger, Little Drummer Boy, came out of one of those albums.
That came out of there too.
Yeah, that's a song that when the album first came out, I was not a fan of it, but as time goes by and you start to listen to stuff more and more, that's genius. It's masterpiece.
Yeah, these things sit with you. But when it comes down to it, you get into the classics and you start talking about the carols and some of which incidentally was our mother's name, Carol Lee.
Was it E at the end or no? I'm kidding.
Two E's, John. If you had added another E, you would have had my mom's name.
Lee, I got Carol Lee. Yeah.
But when you get into some of the classics, my favorite, and I think what I love about it is there's a joyousness. There's also a tension to it because the key they chose for this, Carol of the Bells, and the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. When you start talking about people that did Christmas music, right? The Mormon Tabernacle Choir, their Christmas album is one of my favorite Christmas albums ever. And their version of Carol of the Bells, and no offense to anybody else who's done it, Mannheim Steamroller does an amazing version of it. Mm-hmm. But the Mormon Tabernacle Choir's version, because it's the best orchestral and choral version of it where you actually hear the words. I just think it's amazing, and it gives me chills every time I hear it. It's
a great song. On that note, David Benoit actually has a version of that he does. It's all instrumental, obviously, a piano. It's amazing. It's a great version of that song. I'm shocked. I was going to say I'm shocked that the two of you, neither of you, maybe not your number one.
Well, I know you're going to bring up Bruce Springsteen,
yeah,
and
frankly,
the recorded version of
it's Santa Claus Coming to Town and Merry Christmas Baby.
Yeah,
but Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I was actually, when you hear the version that's out there, it's a live version. Mm-hmm. What people don't realize is this was actually recorded in September. There was a show that we were supposed to go to in Giant Stadium, me and my friend Tom, and that show got rained out. It's the first show Springsteen ever had to postpone because it's the first time he started doing stadiums. Mm-hmm. So it got postponed to Saturday. He comes out immediately. Did I see you all on the Jersey Turnpike on Thursday? Everyone cheers. I got a Saturday night special for you. The Saturday night special was he did Santa Claus is Coming to Town. That's the version that you hear. I was at the show that he recorded that at. Mm-hmm. That was, I mean, it blew us away. It's like, holy crap, Springsteen's doing a Christmas song in September.
Well, if he was going to release it for the season, he had to do it early. So it's not like he was going to do it in December and,
But we're sitting there listening to it, never knowing. It never ever dawned on us that this was going to become a classic for every year after that.
Right.
And you know what, when you listen to that, because you're right, John, it's in my top 5, both of those songs. Uh-huh. But it's just a great musician and the band. Like when you truly listen to that compared to all the other versions that are out there, mm-hmm. and you just hear how tight a band they are. I mean, they've
Oh,
been
hell
playing, you know, back then, not even
Clarence's sax solo in
I was just gonna say his
Yeah.
his saxophone in that song, not just a solo, but just as the backups in it.
Yeah.
He's wailing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
On
so
the-
Christmas music. It's just so hard to name your favorites. It's like naming what's your favorite beer, right?
We could sit here.
Right, yeah.
We could sit here for 2 hours throwing out
There's
song
just so much
after
great. And then
song.
somebody's gonna mention something, and then like, oh yeah, well, okay, maybe it's that one. And
Yeah, really.
there's so much great stuff.
And then it was actually, ironically, on the Instagram post for the show tonight was the music for that song was on there. Yeah, so I used that on the. If you go to Instagram and you look at the post,
Brian, what were you saying? Because again, any of us talk, we can't hear you.
I was just gonna say, next is gonna throw out favorite child, right? You're talking about
Yeah, which might actually be easier, right? But yeah.
What's your favorite breath you take? There you go.
What's your favorite move you make?
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite step you take? Because I'll be watching you.
Just
like Santa Claus.
Right. That's
Just
a
like
stalker. That's a stalker song.
It's a stalker.
It's like one of their biggest hits, and I love the Police. I saw them twice, but it's a stalker song.
I'm sorry. The biggest stalker song ever written was probably Nights on Broadway.
Mm.
Listen to that one. It's a stalker song.
So, on that note,
I think it's Nights on Broadway. There's a BG song. This is
it's the Nights on Broadway.
Yeah, it is Nights on Broadway.
Dave, what's your number 4? Because I poured mine, so I already took a couple sips of it. So
see, your camera picks up better because I don't have the right. Oh, actually, man, it actually focused.
Well, I poured it out of a can. Look at that.
You've always liked it in the can.
And I know you guys know this because I showed you before the show, but proper glassware.
Proper glassware. Oh, wait
you're not pouring it out again. Oh my God.
I guess. Hey, they're our buddies. We make fun of them incessantly, but we do love these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anyway, all right. I think
and
it's time
crazy chihuahuas.
And the crazy chihuahuas, exactly. I think it's time for top threes. What do you think?
Because we haven't been doing that all night.
Because we've been.
Let's change it up a bit.
Yeah, change it up a bit. Well, we're actually going to give 3 now instead of 1 or 2, right? So there you go. All right.
Now yeah.
Exactly. Hold on. I actually have to change this. I did forget to do that before. Because if I put the post up right now, it's going to say Bay Area athletes. So we don't want to do that.
That was last week's
top
top
3. There we go. So tonight's top 3 list is top 3 favorite holiday treats or sweets. Top 3 favorite holiday treats / sweets. John, kick us off. Give us yours.
So number 3, starting with number 3 would be Pfeffernusse cookies. I love those. And every year I'm eating Pfeffernusse. There we go. Number 2 is Stollen, German Christmas cake.
You are so predictable.
But the top one is just
it's not German.
Classic fruit cake. It's not German. It's my mom used to make it. Of course, she used to put rum in it, and we thought
little rum for the cake, little rum for the
kids.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just like Julia Child.
We thought the rum in the cake was getting us up there, but of course the alcohol boils off when you're cooking it. But and she didn't put that much anyway. But that's probably my very top.
So. Very top. Okay, hold on. Speaking of fruitcake, this question was 40-something minutes ago, and I told Doug to wait. Doug Smith commented, "What's the consensus on fruitcake? I am a fruitcake junkie, and it pairs fantastic with Imperial Stout." So there you go.
Well, it's my top one. So I'll say I don't drink it with beer that often.
His second comment was, "What other beers pair with fruitcake?"
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of pairing beer with sweets. So for me,
I don't either. Actually,
yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
But you know what? I got to agree.
You can certain beers you can.
Yep.
But I haven't really.
And I've done it,
actually,
but it's not.
Doug, I challenge you. Your next fruitcake. Try this. There's a reason for it. It's the same reason that IPA and carrot cake go so well together. It's because the spicing in them cancel each other out, and you pick out notes from both that you're not going to get by eating them, by eating or drinking them separately.
IPA and carrot cake. I've
trust me,
never done that.
Okay, so one of the first ever beer pairings, I think it was number 2 at Cloverleaf, was Cane and Carton. Dessert was carrot cake.
Bar? Wait, what bar?
Cloverleaf Tavern.
What bar?
That bar right there.
Yeah.
And they paired, and I looked at the menu and went, seriously, we're going to do carrot cake and head high.
Interesting.
And I got to tell you, that was very, very eye-opening as far as taking two things that really you wouldn't think go together. But it did two things. One, there was a cancellation of the spice of the hops from the from Head High, and the spice of the cake canceled each other out.
Gotcha.
Then the bitterness of the IPA cut into the cream cheese icing on the fruitcake. The carrot cake.
Carrot cake.
I
don't put cream cheese icing on fruitcake. So.
But I have never tasted a more carroty carrot cake than I did that night.
Carroty carrot cake.
Yes. So Doug, the course and donk of everything, of all of the Christmas beers I've ever had. I'm not going to get into all the different various years of Anchor, because there's different levels of spicing in all of them. But consistent spicing, course and donk's spicing is very consistent. It's dark. It's got caramel. So you take that caramel, you take the spices, you put that against the fruitcake. You're going to taste the damn fruit. You're really going to taste the fruit out of this. I would love to see.
Yeah, I think you're right, because that is a very good beer, and the yeastiness of it, and the funkiness of it, and I think all of that would actually go pretty well with the the fruity character of the fruitcake. The candied fruits and the nuts and all that, and I think that would be actually I have some Course and Dunk Christmas ale, and I think I am going to have to try that. So.
You got to let me know what happens.
Yeah.
Let me know if I'm right on this, because I have no fruitcakes. I don't think any fruitcakes allowed in the house, except for me. So
he said it. I didn't.
I beat you to it.
Got it, John.
That's awesome, and I do love fruitcake too. But we'll get to mine in a minute. Brian, what are yours?
Number 3. Whenever we're on this Christmas show together, my brother, right, we think back to our childhood, right? And so I'm not going to say it was my favorite to eat at any time at all in my life, even as a child, but, and he knows what I'm going to say too, like ribbon candy.
Yeah.
It was just prolific when we were.
That's a good word. How many bowls of ribbon candy did she put out?
Oh my God. It was in the trays. It was everywhere. And you ate it. It wasn't great, but you ate it because ate it. Yeah. But that, from a nostalgia perspective, again, that one has to be number 3. Number 2 is going to be gingerbread men have been around forever, but the Pepperidge Farm gingerbread men, you can only get them at Christmas, and they have the ones with the sugar coating on it. Love those in a glass of milk. So I look forward to those every Christmas. But the number 1, and this popped in my head, I didn't think of this right away, and David's going to know this one too, the popcorn balls.
Oh God, the popcorn. Holy shit. I forgot about the popcorn balls.
Yeah, popcorn balls anymore.
Wrapped in either red or green paper.
Yeah, they were the best.
Every year. Holy crap. I'm embarrassed. I forgot about those.
That was a Christmas treat for sure.
Guess what I'm looking for tomorrow?
Popcorn balls.
Many more.
Samurai.
Honorable mention, John. I showed it earlier. Pfeffernusse. The shame of it is that Stella D'Oro used to put out Pfeffernusse.
We did every year.
They don't make them anymore. They're stuck with the Archway. Archway is basically if you order Stella D'Oro off of Wish. But I gotta give an honorable mention. This is Carrie's favorite. She made these. This is as close as you're going to get to Stella D'Oro Pfeffernusse. She thinks it's a little too sweet. These are fucking perfect. She nailed the Pfeffernusse on this one.
If they're not perfect, they're fucking perfect.
Perfect.
There is a difference.
Yes.
All right.
That's my honorable mention.
There you go.
Number 3. This classic. What do you leave for Santa? You leave sugar cookies. Right? And a sugar cookie, well made and frosted. And the sugar cookies I showed you, these are from my boss, actually. And the best part about sugar cookies, because my mouth is full, is that you make them, everybody decorates them, and they never look anything like they're supposed to look like.
Never.
They're going to be featured on the Nailed It Instagram page. These are a little stale. I got to do some real ones. Number 2 is getting back to the roots. I don't know that our grandmother ever made one. I've made a couple myself. But when you get into the British tradition about Christmas, and I've made them and I love them. Trifle.
Yeah, she never did.
Never did, right?
Now, do you do it the traditional English way with
The traditional, yeah.
beef sauteed with peas and onions?
and some sausages and potatoes and leeks. Don't forget the leeks.
Yeah.
No, I've done it a couple different ways. I've done it the traditional way with the lady fingers sprayed with cognac, with the instant bird's custard, the frozen berries, and the whipped cream with the nonpareils on top. That's the classic trifle. I did a play on it once where I made brownies, sprayed it with amaretto. John knows I love my amaretto. Chocolate pudding, bananas, and chocolate whipped cream on top of it. So and cocoa frosted. So I love the trifle. The only problem with the trifle is to make it properly, you need a trifle bowl, which gets used once a year, and it takes up a lot of damn space. So that's why I haven't done trifle in a long time. But there's one thing that's been prevalent on this show. As we talk about Christmas, the Johns have done it. My brother and I have done it, probably a little bit more so, is just that nostalgia, the family, the things you remember from childhood. Jersey Johnny mentioned, what his mother would do. His father's jukebox. John's talked about Rhode Island, and that's family. There's my brother will attest to this. My mom was not the best cook.
Although curry, she did that well.
She did. I still haven't sent you because I told you I nailed the recipe. I got to send it to you. But there's one thing she made every Christmas, and I made it this year. I sent a picture to my sister, our sister. She recognized them immediately. Magic bars. My mom could actually bake. She didn't often. She taught my sister to bake. My sister was a better baker than my mom was because she was more prolific. She did a lot more. But magic bars, this is a graham cracker crust. You've got the sweetened condensed milk, chocolate chips, coconut, and crushed nuts of some sort. Every guy just groaned. My mom used walnuts. I was not a big walnut fan, so these are pecans on top of this. And it's funny because when we talked about this as a top 3 for the Almanac show, before we went with the Bay Area ones, which was great because we could use it for this show, we decided not to use it. And so I was doing research for that. I came across started researching Christmas cookies, and I came across magic bars. I'm like, oh my God, I completely forgot about those. Mm-hmm. Just the way I forgot about popcorn balls. Yeah. So I had to make them.
Popcorn balls. Popcorn balls. That's the dreaded carnival disease.
It's the dreaded final stage of beer nuts.
Anyway, all right. I've got 17 honorable mentions. Kidding. No, I'll throw a couple of honorable mentions out there. Sugar cookies. All right. And I'll throw it out there. I love sugar cookies. I'll eat them all the time. Anybody brings over the tin of sugar cookies, I'm eating at least half of the damn tin myself. But I love eating sugar cookies with eggnog.
Yeah.
Pour in a glass, not making eggnog with bourbon or anything else. Just a glass of eggnog. That's it with sugar cookies. I'll eat
John,
that.
you know what I make my eggnog with?
Amaretto. Right. But I mean just a regular glass of eggnog. Just like Turkey Hill eggnog in a glass, sugar cookies. No alcohol, no nothing.
And John, you know how big of a bourbon fan I am. I still like my eggnog with amaretto.
Yeah, I had my you do. I do. I had eggnog. You did a coquito, but I had eggnog when we did the show with Tom. I think he's watching right now. We did the show with Tom at 11 o'clock on a Friday night, and we finished at 2 a.m. That was fun. A quarter to 12, actually. Quarter to 11:45. I think we did it. Anyway, sugar cookies with eggnog. I'd be remiss if I didn't say, Lindor truffles in a bowl. Get a bunch of bags of that, put them out, or Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah.
All right.
You mentioned Lindor truffles. You got to bring up the Ferrero Rochers.
Right. Candy canes. I'm not going through a Christmas without eating a couple candy canes. I got about 2 dozen hanging on my tree. I'll probably eat about 6 of them. But I will mention these, and this particular treat may come up again. But Ghirardelli peppermint bark.
Ghirardelli.
I said Ghirardelli. I didn't say Ghirardelli.
You said Ghirardelli.
No, I said Ghirardelli. Rewind the tape and listen to it. I said Ghirardelli. Ghirardelli peppermint bark.
Throw the red flag.
Jimmy, get on that. See what we did.
We have no producers anymore.
I know. So while I eat this, I'll tell you my top.
They're getting coal.
So exactly. So while I eat this, I'll tell you my top 3. My number 3, and this is my Italian upbringing. Not so much my mother, but my aunts, and so forth and so on. My great aunts, Anisette cookies, Italian Anisette cookies, with the Anisette cookies dipped in the glaze with the nonpareils on top. It's not Christmas unless I have a few of those. Right.
It's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls from the
Nakatomi Plaza. Exactly.
With an anisette cookie in his hand. Yeah.
With an anisette cookie in his hand, right. My number 2, peanut butter cookies. Hold on. I actually did this, and I'm missing this. Hold on.
Is the peanut butter cookie with the Hershey's Kiss right in the middle?
Hold on. I'll show you. So I actually pulled these up. So these are Anisette cookies. If anybody doesn't know, if you're listening to the audio podcast, tune into the Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or anything podcast. An hour 57:20 seconds. There's the picture. Those are Anisette cookies. All right. Peanut butter cookies. Absolutely, Dave.
No, they are.
With the peanut with the Hershey's Kiss right in the middle.
Because if you just say peanut butter cookies, those are timeless. They're year round until you shove the Hershey's Kiss in the middle. Then it becomes a Christmas cookie.
Then it's a Christmas cookie. Exactly. And my number 1, and even though I just had the Ghirardelli peppermint bark, it's regular peppermint bark. That's my number 1.
Trader Joe's has got very good peppermint bark.
There's a lot of good peppermint barks out there. I actually attempted once to make it myself. Wasn't bad. Looked absolutely nothing like this.
Nailed it.
But it wasn't like that. But peppermint barks, that's definitely my number 1. So there you go.
So,
those are my top 3.
Doug Smith mentioned something that should be in the conversation that was obviously not in this conversation.
Yes, let's put it up there. Doug Smith said, mincemeat pie has to be in this conversation.
Here's the thing about mincemeat pie is back in the day, there was actually meat in mincemeat pie. Mm-hmm. Mincemeat pie now is nothing but sugar and crust.
It's sugar and crust. It's all, yeah.
Cola.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think there's different versions, right? There's mincemeat pie, as you said, with meat, but there's also the apple raisin fruity mince pie that I remember from New England days, and that was another holiday tradition.
Well, that's what Doug's talking about, right?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. But you can't find that down here to save your life.
Anybody doesn't know, John and Doug go way back.
Yes, we do.
And they're both. If you pull Doug's last statement back up again, his last. If you look at his Facebook profile page, it'll give you an idea, because if you've watched the show and listen to Staradumsky, and we've got any tangent on sports, because John doesn't like sports too much. Just look at his hat. Johnny.
Talking about me?
Yeah, I'm talking about Johnny.
No, not
They're both Patriots fans. So
From way back, yes.
way back.
Way back.
And he and I were just talking about the Pats this morning. So, it's big component of your life if you're a New Englander, it's being a Patriots fan. So.
And no Belichick next year.
Well, we'll see about that. I don't know.
I'm willing to put money down that Mr. William Belichick will be the head coach of the San Diego Chargers next year.
I will say this to Mr. Bob Kraft right now. I appreciate everything you've done for the New England Patriots, buying the team and making sure that moron Orthwine from the Anheuser-Busch family didn't move us to St. Louis way so long ago. But if you fire Bill Belichick, you're a fucking idiot, because he is a genius. He's given us so many great years of football. And even this year with, we've had so many challenges, but the defense has really stepped up after losing. We drafted a rookie, Gonzalez, who was great and went out a couple of games for the season with an injury. We got one of the leading pass rushers in the NFL, Matt Judon, who went out a couple of games with an injury. Admittedly, we've played some crappy teams, but our offense has been absolutely horrible, which means the defense is on the field more often, and the Belichick defense has still been stepping up in every game. So if he gets rid of Belichick, he needs to go back down to Florida and get another happy ending, is what he needs to do.
My brother muted himself and spoke off camera. Did you just order another beer from Bo?
No, Becky just came in.
Oh, hi, Becky.
So yeah, I don't have too many strong feelings about the Belichick question. But there you go. That's
none whatsoever, John.
No, I don't. But I kind of think that Kraft is smarter than that, and he's all this stuff that's floating around. He's not going to get rid of Belichick. I will tell you this much, that if we have to totally rebuild our offense next year and totally rebuild our defense, we're going to be in a world of hurt. It's going to be years before we're a contender again, like many, many years.
You're talking to a couple of Giants fans about this.
Yeah.
It'll be a while. But I have a strange feeling that it's going to happen. He's not, if he stays with New England, it's fine. Right. But if he doesn't stay with England, he's not retiring. He wants Shula's record.
I was going to say, my feel is this came from Belichick, not from Kraft.
Yeah. It's quite possible, but
you know what? I think Belichick, if you watch him year after year after year, he is more and more miserable in the cold.
But for the reason, he's originally from Maryland, so he's not from a.
Oh, so he's used to misery.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but he's not used to too much of a southern climb. But I think that John was right. He wants to beat Shula's record, right? He's going to beat Halas, but he wants to beat Shula. That's his ultimate goal.
He does.
And how are you going to best do that next year?
Not with the Patriots.
Actually, I think with the Patriots, you're going to have the first or second round draft pick and there are very good quarterbacks.
But you've got years to develop a quarterback.
You have almost $100 million of cap space. They got tons of cap space next year to keep the right people that are already with the team and to sign maybe some free agents.
And hopefully they can sign someone at quarterback position as good as Daniel Jones.
Well,
hold on. When it comes to the quarterback position, all I have to say is this.
I feel right. Yeah.
The defense has caught up to him last week, but okay.
No.
The offensive line.
Let me tell you something. That Giants game against the Saints on Sunday. Okay, Brian, you're a Saints fan since you were 8 years old. That Giant game against the Saints on Sunday. That had nothing to do. That horrible, pathetic, pitiful game had nothing to do with Tommy DeVito. And I'm not getting on this Tommy DeVito bandwagon. It's a great story. I love it, right? But whatever.
Oh,
Hey, if he winds up being an amazing quarterback, wonderful. That's great. But I'm not there. But it still had nothing to do with him. It had everything to do with the putrid piece of shit offensive line. Okay?
My biggest takeaway from that game is Vilma can't not be a Saints fan.
Oh my God, Vilma,
it was disgusting.
Jonathan
Every penalty called against the Saints was wrong, and he celebrated every penalty called against the Giants.
Jonathan Vilma was. It was harder to listen to Jonathan Vilma call a Saints game than it was to watch Tony Romo call a Cowboys game.
I agree.
Okay.
It was awful. It was awful.
Horrible.
Anyway, this is a beer podcast.
Well, it's a beer podcast. One more thing on football, and John will may or may not like this. I don't know. For history, maybe he will. Okay. Now, I'm a Giants fan, as you can tell. All right. And everyone knows that, and Dave knows that, and so forth and so on. But I am a football fan as well. And I don't hate any local New York team by any means. Okay, I feel bad for some of them.
While you're doing this, before the show, my brother sent me 5 beers he was going to drink.
And he's about to drink his 5th.
He's already passed on one of them. He has no beer in his hand right now.
It's good dinner time.
So what are you eating, and what beer is going to pair with it?
Hey, I don't know.
There you go. So anyway, I
turn to the panel.
There you go.
Say again. What you're going to eat there?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
I had Chick-fil-A yesterday for lunch.
Wait a second. We need a beer sent to us by God.
I think a solid Helles Lager might go good with a Chick-fil-A.
Oh, I like the juxtaposition. God's chicken, hell. I like that.
There you go. So anyway,
flavor profile goes well too.
There you go. So I was just going to say. So now, as big a Giant fan as I am, my better half is a Jets fan. Jessica is a Jets fan. Okay, she calls me
Wait
up
a second.
on Thursday night.
She's a Jets fan. You called her your better half?
Well, she's my better half, not her team. Just her.
Because as bad as the Giants were last week, the Jets managed to one up them.
They were worse. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, last Thursday night, I grabbed I do have Jets jerseys. That's Jersey Johnny. I grabbed my Jets baseball cap, and I grabbed a pullover that I had, and I put it on because I'm certainly not going to go down there to this particular venue for this particular reason, dressed in Giants garb, mind you. Okay. But I hung out for 2.5 hours having an amazing conversation with this particular gentleman.
Oh, we have another selfie. And who would that amazing gentleman be?
John?
Oh, I know who it is.
Stumped.
Joe Klecko.
Joe Klecko from the Jets. Okay.
Joe Klecko from the Jets.
Joe Klecko.
It just made the Hall of Fame this year.
Which is you.
My favorite Klecko story is my friend Vin. My brother remembers Vin. Johnny, you've met Vin, I think.
Okay.
He used to go to a gym down it's near Manalapan, that area. It was Klecko's gym.
Klecko lives in Colts Neck.
Yeah, so
he's not too far from Bruce Springsteen, actually.
Right. And so he had a gym down there, and so my friend's working out there. And there's John, what are you drinking?
Not to interrupt, but
there you go.
I'm desperate.
We got another 2021.
There you go.
No. Wait a second. You just interrupted sports talk with a beer on a beer podcast. How dare you?
There you go.
But he's working.
You got to crawl. There you go. You get 2021.
He's working out, and him and his buddies, and they get up to about 2.25 on the.
I'm having another peppermint bark from Gary.
There you go. On the, they're bench pressing. They get off the bench and they're getting ready to take the weights off, and this group of like no necks walk up to them and go, no, leave those on. We'll start with that. So these guys take it and they start bench pressing it, and they get up to about 300 or so. They get done. They're about ready to take the weights off. Klecko and his friends walk up to him and like, no. Leave those on. We'll start with that. And if you ever pull that shit in my gym again, you are out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, I mean, I was a Klecko fan beforehand because I was a big Sack Exchange fan. And if you want to be a Jets fan, you have to be able to name all 4 members of the Sack Exchange, or be a Jets hater like a Staradumsky, who would know all 4 members of the Sack Exchange.
Would know all 4 members of the Sack Exchange. Go ahead, name them.
And I met one about a month ago. I'm not going to throw the selfie up, Johnny, because that's your gig. I do have a selfie with him though, but all 4 of them.
Okay.
Well, the most famous being Gastineau.
Mark Gastineau.
The whole reason for the over-celebrating law in the NFL.
Over-celebrating? Mark Gastineau?
No,
that doesn't happen.
The aforementioned Joe Klecko.
Mm-hmm.
The one I mentioned who I met a month ago, Marty Lyons.
Marty Lyons, right.
And the one that most people forget, Abdul Salam.
Abdul Salam. Yep.
That's the Sack Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I was always a Klecko fan, but I became more of a fan of his after that as a person. That this is my gym. You're not going to break. You're not going to belittle those who work out here.
I will be honest with you. He is, football aside, because we had other conversations, 2.5 hours we sat and BS'd.
Great guy.
About a bunch of, football was half of it, or a little more than half of it, but we talked about a lot of other stuff. He literally didn't want to stop talking. And there was a couple other people sitting. It wasn't just me, but he literally was a genuine guy. He loves football. Most people forget loves being social and loves talking. So it was
most amazing. People forget he was in Cannonball Run 2.
Cannonball Run 2 and Smoking the Bandit 2.
Oh, Smoking the Bandit 2, not Cannonball.
No, he's in both. He was in both.
Oh, that's right. He was in both.
He was in both.
Well, that's easy for you to say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to go have my family. We're talking about Christmas, but I'm going to go join them.
Brian, you go have your Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
And join your family.
And we will see you next year.
Pleasure to meet you.
We will pick this up. We will pick this up next year. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you and staying the entire. I mean, this is even when you guys were at Nobo a couple of years ago. You were on longer today than you were that day. So awesome for sticking around.
Oh, that Nobo show was fun.
That Nobo show was fun. Yeah.
And it's the last time I've had a Lichterheiner.
Yeah.
Lichterheiner. Yeah. There you go.
Their holiday beer, checking it twice is a good one too.
There you go.
What style did they do?
It's like a winter warmer. They do the same checking it twice every year. But
yeah, I never saw it because I've stopped paying attention to Darren's posts because of obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Love the guy, hilarious.
Anything, yeah.
Anything. All right. Brian, have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
Give big Becky a big hug and kiss for me, will you?
Absolutely.
Right.
And Bo and Bryn.
All right.
Them too.
Love you. Bye.
Cheers, Brian. All right. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, no. Klecko was amazing. He was a great guy. And I cannot neither confirm or deny that he will be on the Get On With It Sports podcast at some point in January.
You're not going to bring him on this show?
Hey, he's not a big beer guy. He was drinking Kettle and Club with lime on Thursday.
You guys mentioned Gastineau, who is my most hated Jets player of all time, because I remember 84.
You mean Browning Nagel wasn't your most hated Jets player of all time?
So John,
we beat the Jets to go, and then we beat. We were 84. We were a wild card team. It was the year we went to the Super Bowl and got our asses kicked, but really kicked by the Bears. But we beat the Jets to go. Then beat the
remember the joke from that year? Why are the Patriots like the space shuttle?
No.
Yeah, it looked really good for the first 37 seconds, and everything blew to hell.
Yeah,
the Super Bowl was 2 days before that happened. Okay.
Yeah, but that was the joke afterwards. Yes.
Gotcha.
Right.
That's kind of like the joke that I used on a lot of Falcons fans down here after we came back and beat them in the Super Bowl when we were down 28-3. what's the difference between the Atlanta Falcons and a dollar bill?
Wow.
A dollar bill is good for 4 quarters. But anyway, Gastineau, we beat the Jets, and Gastineau was like, I hope they get sick. I hope they die on the plane. He had all these horrible things to say about us anyway. But do you guys know who my favorite Jets player of all time is?
Your favorite Jets player of all
Richard
time?
Todd.
Nope.
Give me a time frame.
In the last 10 years.
Last 10 years.
Yeah.
Last 10 years.
It was it was something that happened on a holiday related event.
Oh, Mo Lewis.
Nope.
That has to be your favorite Jets player of all time.
No.
He knocked out Bledsoe, so you guys got Brady. That should be your favorite Jets player of all time.
That's a good candidate, but it's Mark Sanchez with the butt fumble.
I was going to say,
on Thanksgiving Day, no less.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
And that was actually a little over 11 years ago, but yeah.
Okay, all right. So a little more.
So for Jets fans, you know who the most hated Patriots player is?
No, who? Tom Brady?
No. It was Tippett.
Andre Tippett. Yeah.
Because he blew out Klecko's knee.
Oh, okay.
He
was a great player, by the way, Tippett. But
he blew out Klecko's knee,
yeah.
pretty much disabling the sack exchange that year.
Okay. I did not even remember that.
I can't confirm or deny whether I have a Klecko jersey, but
yeah,
I do. I do, and he signed it that day. So
yeah, and the thing is, on many of the groups, your Giants fandom got questioned big time on that.
Look, hey, you know what? I have a Phillip Rivers jersey, and if I was somewhere where he was, I'd have brought that, and he would have signed it. Would that make me a Chargers fan?
Yes,
I'm a football fan. I'm a Giants fan, and I'm a football fan. Okay,
I
have a Tom Brady jersey. Is that going to be a problem?
Yes.
Not for me.
I have 2 Patriots jerseys. I have a Tom
Actually,
Brady
it's not a
jersey.
problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem for Giants fans because Tom Brady's never beaten the Giants when it really counts.
True.
This is true. Yeah. I have a Tom.
And
Brady
the thing
jersey,
is,
I actually have a Sony Michel jersey too.
I do have to give Tom Brady all the credit in the world. I became a big fan of his when Eli retired, and Brady congratulated him on his retirement and said, "Hey, great career. Just wish you hadn't won so many Super Bowls." Self-deprecating, and it's like, yeah. Good on you, Tom. That's awesome because you can afford to say that because how many Super Bowls you've actually won.
He's won more than anybody else. So that's for sure.
He's the GOAT.
That's
for sure.
That's for sure. But all right. Beer. Are
you going to a fifth?
No, I'm not going to. Are you going to a fifth?
No, I might pour a little port just to
wrap up the evening.
Yeah.
I need to finish my St. Bernardus. I have a fifth
here,
but I'm not going to have
because I finished my St. Bernardus and I'm going to need something to toast the end of the show with.
Gotcha.
No, I got a better idea.
What's that?
Hold on a second.
Go for it. I was just going to say, is there any other, John, for you, I'll mention this to Samurai when he comes back on. Are there any other, he's sitting down already. I'll just ask him now.
Okay, so I need proper glassware. Hold on.
Oh Jesus, that was a good expletive, not expletive, but exclamation.
Ding ding ding!
For this particular time of year, I said, "Oh Jesus."
Luckily, no glass is broken.
There you go.
I'm going to show you the proper glassware first, and you can.
You're going to have a boat, really?
Yeah. Why not? You bought O-Dub earlier.
That's true. I did.
And it made me thirsty for a boat.
Thirsty for a boat.
What's my favorite beer, John?
Building Sandcastles from Coastal Brewworks.
That might be number 2.
Nautical Twilight from Coastal Brewworks.
Nothing, not for nothing. It was supposed to be Building Sandcastles.
Mm-hmm.
You know I love Nautical Twilight better.
I know. You
it is such a damn good beer.
Well, we've talked about the boat, and we've talked about the goat, but I will say, Dave, you are the goat of the boat, right? You have
the goat of the boat. Yeah, the goat of the boat.
And you know what this stands for? And it's funny because the maker of this beer, who's claimed it's just the greatest beer, when I brought the fact that it stands for best of all time, he just blinked and went, fuck. He hadn't thought of it until that point.
He hadn't thought of it then.
Because it's not what it actually stands for. It's supposed to be it was brewed to be a beer that you can drink on a boat all day long.
Mm-hmm. Boat beer. That's it. It was originally boat beer, just boat beer. Yeah. Anyway, so what I was going to say, John, any other holiday traditions that you do? Not necessarily food or music or movies or TV or beer or food. Just things you do. You go somewhere and experience this or what have you, or anything like that.
Well, we have a really fun one that we do on our family gathering, which is not always Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, because my wife has 3 kids, and I have 3 kids, so we have 6 kids. And we are like,
we were talking about Alice being in the middle there. Do you have it, Alice?
There you go. And except for my daughter, she's got 3 girls, and I have 2 boys and a girl. And I always tell my daughter that she ruined the Brady Bunch. But when we do have our gathering and we get together, we have this game that we play. And my daughter, actually, I tease her, but she's such a great kid, and she gets all these gifts for all the kids and stuff, and wraps the hell out of them in cellophane. And the players, you go around the horn and you roll dice, and until somebody rolls doubles, you are wearing oven mitts and trying to unravel this ball of cellophane wrapped goodies, candy, money, cash. There's toys, there's all kinds of stuff. And everybody's just trying to get it open and get all the loot they can. And of course, the little kids, it's for them more than anything.
And it's all wrapped in, like, it's not, everything's not in the middle. It's throughout the entire.
No, it's throughout the cellophane.
Yeah,
it's this gigantic ball.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a mix between a king cake and a piñata.
Yeah, and trying to do those things with oven mitts on.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, because it's a lot of fun watching them try to do it, and they get so excited. And the next person in line who gets it next is the one rolling the dice. So, that's probably one of our biggest family traditions. So
that's great. That's cool. I never did that ever in years until recently. Jess's sister and brother-in-law, they started that up again for them. So anytime we're over there on Christmas Eve, which we will be this Sunday, they do that. And obviously it's for the kids. It's all chocolate and candy and everything else. So it's all whatever I win goes to, here you go, take us, there you go. I might take a piece of chocolate to eat, but here you go. The rest is yours,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is fun. That is cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and actually the adults doing it get sometimes more excited than the kids do.
Right? Yeah, no.
They're not going to keep the stuff, but they give it to the kids, but they really get into it. So,
yeah, Samurai.
Traditions are time tested, right? John knows full well there's been so many changes in my life to really bring tradition from stage to stage is really kind of difficult. But there's one thing that's kind of probably been a consistency from year to year.
Boat beer.
Yes, boat beer. From the time I was 2. No. There's a story my mom would tell. When I was probably 2 or 3 years old, I got out of my crib and undecorated the lower branches of the Christmas tree, because that's all I could reach, thinking those were my gifts. And it has come, and I honor this every year. There are 2 ornaments that I still have. These ornaments are older than me. These ornaments my mom had when she was young, and these were my favorite ornaments that were on the tree when I was a kid. So when I moved out and I got my own Christmas tree, my own family, she gave me these ornaments. There was 3 of them. 1 broke, so there's 2 left. One is this, and they look almost like a candy. One looks like a teddy bear. One looks like a harp. I don't even remember what the third one looked like at this point. These are the two that remain. And every year I still have them. They're on the tree out there. And it's not Christmas to me until I put these on the tree. And I just remember what it was like. And when I do that, and it's something that when we get to our age, you kind of forget that wonder, that magic, and there's certain things in the family traditions and the remembrance of, what happened when you were a kid, the way you celebrated as a kid. And when you do these things, perform even the simplest act of hanging an ornament on a tree, that recaptures maybe just even the slightest portion of that magic.
Yeah.
Of, back in the days when, you believe in Santa Claus. And I'm not saying that I don't believe in Santa Claus, because I kind of still do.
I do.
Yeah. It's different than when I was a kid. I don't have a chimney. I don't have a fireplace. Mm-hmm. And I know none of the gifts under the tree Santa actually brought, but I still, to this day, I believe in Santa.
Sure, absolutely.
And one of the advantages of getting older is you can actually be Santa Claus. And, that's one of the things that I always tout. One of the things I like to do is I buy a bunch of toys for kids at Christmas, and they go to, in the past, they've gone to Toys for Tots. But my son-in-law runs a charity in Rome, Georgia, and he helps out kids with cancer or cancer in their family. So I get these toys and give them to him, and he gives them to kids that might not have stuff otherwise. But there is a Santa Claus, and you can be that Santa Claus.
There's a Santa in all of us. And one of the guests we're supposed to have on tonight, Tony Drury. Tony does something every year, and he's brought his daughter into this tradition. Tony lives in far west Texas. He's right on the Rio Grande. He's not that far from it. He's in Terlingua. And every year, I hope that INS is not listening, because they break the law every damn year. They get in their canoes. They're dressed as Santa. They load the canoes down with gifts. They cross the Rio Grande. They go into a very poor town in Mexico, dressed as Santa, and they hand out gifts.
Man, that's awesome.
And it is, I
don't think that would be an INS problem. I think it would more likely be like a Mexican government problem, because, it's people, it's Tony
going into
Mexico.
But he's got to come back.
Yeah. But he can come back. He's allowed to.
Yeah, he's allowed to. But it's John knows damn well, because have never met Tony face to face, but I've known of him and interacted with him, brought him into the show, and I've always been, I'll admit it, kind of jealous of his lifestyle. He's what so many of us really wish we were. And when I found out that
he's younger than us, that's the
and when I found out that he did this, I became even more enamored of this particular individual. We will have him on the show again soon.
He'll come on again. Yeah, we'll get him on
in the new year.
We'll talk about what he did do this year. He actually joined, and this is near and dear to my heart, and Samurai's as well.
Yeah, there's a reason he couldn't be on the show today.
The Terlingua Fire Department. He actually joined the Terlingua Volunteer Fire Department. And they also, while they're just a municipal fire department, they also do wildland firefighting, and they had to go on a 3-day wildland firefighting drill and training. And so he went for that.
And the best part about it, he apologized to us for it, but you could sense his excitement for running this drill.
He was very excited to go work. Almost as excited as I was when I was 19 going to a volunteer firefighting drill.
Yeah.
So
he's one of those special individuals out there. Tony, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Alacron.
Cheers.
Bon Natale.
Given
Bon Natal.
at Christmas. That
Absolutely.
is an amazing story. So
Absolutely.
I have
He is.
never met him, but he's an amazing individual.
We're
Amazing
gonna,
guy.
oh, you haven't met him. We have to have them on the show together.
Yeah, we'll get him on the show together, and he's
He's
got to
a
come
character.
up. Look, hey, look, this is going to be amazing. So when we actually open the brewery, John's got to come up, Tom's got to come up, Doug's got to come up,
Yeah, Doug.
Tony's got to come up. It's going to be that's got to be. I think that's got to be a separate night because there's too much to do and talk about for anything else to be involved that night. So
that'll if we get all these characters in one room together,
the universe may implode.
Yeah, an asteroid's going to hit, I'm sure.
Exactly.
I'll tell you one thing: livers will cringe.
Oh, very, very much so.
My liver cringed a long time ago, so
I will tell.
Shut up,
Exactly.
liver.
I will tell you one thing. Just talking about the tradition thing. I just want to throw this in there. There's a lot of traditions that I've tried to keep up to some extent over the years, especially stuff from like my childhood, right? And any chance I get. And some years they go by, and some years I can do some part of it or whatever. And there's many of them, but the thing I try to do the most, or the thing I've tried to do the most, all right, is anything that nothing specific, but several things. Nothing specific to say here right now, but several things that I did when I was young, and my parents did for me and my sister when we were young. I tried when my kids were young. I did them with them, right? And as they grew older, I kept it going until it didn't make sense to do it anymore. Right? They're too old, right? But now that they're old, I wait with bated breath and anticipation for grandchildren to do with them.
Well, you know what?
Right?
If you would stop eating all the little herrings, you wouldn't have bated breath.
That's true. That's true. But I will tell you one thing that I still do on Thanksgiving. All right.
You crack open a celebration.
Well, of course, at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Beyond that, because I've had 2 or 3 by noon, right? But when at the end of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, who's the star of the show?
You watch the dog show?
Who's the star of the show at the end of the Macy's?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, right? So I try to get at least one of my children down for that. So this year, Rachel, my middle child, came down and we sat and watched Santa together, right? And I got to admit, to this day, she's going to be 27. To this day, sitting with her, I still well up when Santa comes down, which in front of Macy's at Herald Square. It's crazy.
I walk through almost every day.
There you go. So.
They're preparing for New Year's Eve, right?
Of course they are.
For New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Question.
Go for it.
And this is a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
One of the themes here has been those traditions. It's been the family.
Family. Sure.
At our age, we've all lost somebody.
Mm-hmm.
For Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
The one person you've lost you want to be with you on Christmas.
My mother.
I knew your answer. I knew that there's no hesitation. John?
Yeah, my mother. Tough call this year because I lost my brother this year. So that's the most recent in memory. And, he passed away. My mom was 73 when she died, and he's younger than me. So tough call, but I think it's always going to be my mom. And also tough because I have so many traditions I share with my dad, and I miss him a lot too, but probably, still my mom.
Mm-hmm. I think anybody worth their salt who have lost their mom wants their mom back for Christmas.
Yeah.
My mom passed when she was 59.
My mom was 57.
Yeah. You're closer to being older than her than I am my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But no, actually we're
by a year.
No, we're the same. You're 2 years
same.
older.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Actually the same.
Same, yeah.
I think this would be true of anybody.
Well, wait, let's figure out the weeks. Maybe
we'll go to that. But I think this is true of anybody who's lost their mom. That's the one person you want back.
Yeah.
Always. And, considering we're all dads, does that sting a little? I don't think so. No, because we get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah. I mean, it was all like, both of them for me did everything, right? But I still have my father, right? Knock
We
on
do.
wood.
Whose birthday
For
just
many,
passed?
many years. Whose birthday is tomorrow.
It was tomorrow. That's right. The
Happy birthday,
celebration.
Jack.
Happy birthday, Jack.
There you go.
Happy birthday.
And I would be remiss because
He loves his 80s. What can I say? You know?
in 3 days it's my daughter's birthday. So happy birthday, Olivia.
There you go. There you go. And and you mentioned, and what's funny is you mentioned the 19th of the year before when we were talking about something. It was the 19th of the month. Today's the 19th of the month.
Yes.
You mentioned 19th of the year.
I did correct myself. You didn't hear
You
me.
did. No, I heard you.
Yeah.
I heard you. But the 19th of the year, next year, is my oldest daughter. She'll be 30. So,
Very nice. Merry Christmas.
no,
No,
Happy
and again,
birthday.
as I said earlier,
Because I say Merry Christmas because we got a few shows before her birthday.
we have 4 or 5 shows before her birthday.
3.
Anyway.
I couldn't say anything
That's
else on
right.
today, my mom's birthday. So, you know.
Today is your mom's birthday.
Like I said, and Carrie's
How can I
mother's
say
Happy,
birthday.
happy birthday, Mrs. Staradumsky.
Yes.
Thanks to mom.
Happy
Mom.
birthday, Susie.
And of course, you know, as you said, being dads, we all understand, and I understand even more because my kids are all closer to me, and I am very confident that if they were asked that question, they'd say my dad. So, you know,
I don't know about.
I see where you're going with that, and I concur.
I hope you're right. You might be wrong, but I hope you're right.
On that note, all right. I'm glad we can laugh about that part. Right
Yeah,
there.
I know because I brought it down quite a few
No,
notches
no,
there,
that's
but
fine.
we'll bring it back.
There you go. All right.
Thank you, Brew Guru, for bringing it back up.
There you go. All right. Before we wrap it up, John, what does Bruguru.com or Honest Craft Beer Reviews have in store for next year? How much more are you going to do? How much more are you going to put into it?
Wait a second, hold on. I'm going to do a Kreskin thing here. I'm thinking beer.
beer. We're gonna
Beer. There you go. All right.
We're going to do the same thing we've always done. You know, it's going to be, you know, we're not into the ticker thing. We love trying new beers.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be drinking a lot of new beers in the new year, but it's all about the whole point of trying new beers is to find stuff you love and you want to drink them again. And, you know, we talked on this show about some classics, like stuff that's still available. Like I drank a Harpoon Winter Warmer.
Yes, you did.
I didn't drink a Sam Smith's Winter Welcome on the show, but I've already had some this year.
I got one in the fridge back there.
I got one in the fridge as well.
We're going to keep drinking that stuff that we love because, we lost Anchor this year because we didn't drink enough of it, right?
Absolutely. We
We
learned
need to drink more of that, but that's a reason we need to drink more Sierra Nevada because they've been around for so long, right? We can't lose them the same way that we lost Anchor, and I think that's
and thank you for that, because John and I put a challenge to all of our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Once we learned of Anchor, is those breweries, those OGs, those breweries that got us into it, the Great Divides, as you mentioned, the Sierra Nevadas, the Founders,
Mm-hmm.
Even the Green Flash, all of these breweries that introduced us to so many things.
Mm-hmm.
These were the OGs. Don't forget them. It's the shoots. It's phenomenal to experience new beers. We say
Rogue.
We say it all. Rogue. We say it all the time. Not Stone so much.
Just gonna keep naming beers.
Yeah.
Santa's Private Reserve, Rogue. We just talked about it. We didn't even
Yeah.
mention them and all the holiday beers.
Yeah.
But we say all the time. Drink a lot of beer. Drink local. The drink local movement's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget who brought us here.
Yep.
They may
You
not
don't
be
need
local.
you don't need to stop drinking local, but 1 out of every 4, 5, 6 times you buy local, get one of the OGs.
Yeah.
Just get one.
Yeah.
Support them. Don't let them fail. It's even Sam Adams. It's even Brooklyn, right? Even though these are the bigger breweries, these are the ones you can find nationally on tap still.
John, you mentioned you were going to have you might have had a black
I got one in the
stout.
fridge. It's going to be my next beer, black
A
chocolate stout. What would Christmas be without black chocolate stout? That's
course,
just
exactly.
And I still maintain to this day that black chocolate stout they do not report the ABV properly. It is much higher than they report.
They have it at 10, right? So you think it's even stronger than that?
I do. I mean, there was one time I drank. There's one time I drank 3 of them, and that's exactly how many rear doors to the bar I saw.
How many rear doors to the bar you saw?
I came off my stool. I probably knocked over 3 tables on my way out. 10, really? No, I think it's higher. I really do. 3 of those wrecked the hell out of me, probably at the height of my drinking career.
Well,
I think they're understated.
More reason we cannot lose beers like that, because
Exactly.
And we are at risk of doing it, and we're as guilty as the current generation in that.
Yeah, we absolutely are.
We were fickle. I think we get it a little more.
We forgot. We forgot. We took Anchor for granted.
We did,
and we're paying for it now.
And speaking of selfies and Brooklyn, there you go.
I know that guy.
Oh,
this is a record on the show of how many selfies Johnny has thrown up. This was 4, right?
This was 4, yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and just put out that at the day that I do come up for the brewery there, John's going to do a selfie with me. But
oh no,
one? No. A selfie?
I'll do one too. So yeah,
when you and Tom and Tony and Doug all come up, there's going to be. I'm not a selfie guy. I'm going to be doing this a lot.
Here. This is, by the way, just for shits and giggles, the next photo on this reel next to my photo with Garrett Oliver that I just showed you is this guy.
That would be John Hall. We are now 5 selfies. You really stepped down.
I had to do 5.
You really stepped down the celebrity level.
I know.
You could tell John.
No, John's celebrity level.
He's celebrity level, but that's a step down.
Well, that's only because he's shorter than Garrett Oliver.
Mr. Hall would admit that himself. John Hall does not consider himself a beer celebrity.
No.
But those who've been in the beer world for a while know who he is.
And he'll be on the show on the 23rd of January.
Really?
Yeah.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel again. I love it. Now, you were talking about what he's doing. You know what the Samurai is doing this coming year.
What's Samurai doing this coming year?
You know what I'm looking forward to in April. So I always travel for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
This year it's international, and I will be in München, and I'll be in Prague.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm there for the museums, not the beer.
I heard a little birdie told me you're also going to be in Bamberg at some point too. So.
And I will be taking not just Bamberg. I'll be taking a full day trip to Bamberg. I will be spending a half day in a place. There's a brewery there that's been around for a little bit. That's just outside of Munich. It's in a small town called Freising. They've been around for it's
in another 16 and a half years, they'll be around for 1,000 years.
That's all. Yeah. So I should probably show you this. This is my confirmation for the tour. It's sitting right here. So we got a confirmation for our tour. We have a seating for lunch there, and this has been on my, as it is for every damn beer nerd, it's bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna take care of 2 bucket list items on this trip.
What's that?
Weihenstephaner.
Mm-hmm.
Prague.
There you go.
Because John, what are my favorite styles of beer?
Pilsners and Hefeweizens.
Quarter true. What kind of Pilsners?
Czech Pilsners.
And one step beyond Czech Pilsner?
Tmave Pivos.
Yeah. So as much beer as I'm going to be drinking in Munich, because god damn, the beer there is amazing. And yeah, I'll be drinking Tap 6 again, John.
I'm sure you will be. Are you gonna get about 45 minutes northwest of Munich though? To this town?
No, we're not going to Flodungen.
Or just north of Flodungen.
Oberflodungen.
Which means
No, we're not heading out there, but we'll be going to Bamberg. And yes, we'll be going to Schweinkerla.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be going to Spezial.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be drinking so much goddamn beer, eating.
You need to go to Klosterbräu. The Advent
actually should go to Klosterbräu.
Yeah, the Advent calendar came with the Klosterbräu.
Klosterbräu,
R, not L. R.
Klosterbräu is on the itinerary.
And Geller is another great brewery that we just started to see their beers come into in the same general area. They're also on
not on the itinerary yet, but
very nice Rauch beer, a kinder, gentler Rauch beer than the others, but the subtlety of it, very, very nice.
Yeah, I'll be posting a lot while we're there on the This Week in Rauch Beer Facebook page.
Right. Just a bit. But we're having when John Hall comes on the show on the 23rd of January, we're having our second annual This Week in Rauch Beer.
God, I really wish you'd schedule it for after I came back.
I know. But it's summer. We're not going to do a Rauch Beer show in May. So
this is true.
All right.
So I will probably save one of the wild airs that I have for that show.
Fair enough. Oh, the Italian smoke?
No, there's another one. It's a smoked and no, it's not the Italian smoke. It's another smoked beer.
Gotcha. Well, just to put it mildly, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff I plan on doing in 2024. The main thing of which is actually opening the tap room. So we'll
which Coastal Brew Works is expecting to open by Independence Day.
Independence Day is the goal, so that we can be open by 2027. So, right.
Thank you, New Jersey.
Yes. So we'll keep everybody abreast and posted of the situation. But in any event, that's that. So, yeah, I'm enjoying. Just about finished my St. Bernardus. I was gonna have a fifth beer, but I'm good. I'm not. John, I'm assuming did pour a fifth beer because that's what he's doing right
I
now.
just went with the Brooklyn
Black Chocolate Stout.
Yeah,
I'm on vacation this week, so I don't give
and
about tomorrow. So
you're going to sleep well tonight.
Fair enough.
I'm going to sleep well.
I have about 5 hours worth of office work to do tomorrow. I have a little bit. I actually do a little bit of shopping at some point, and tomorrow night I'm going to a Christmas Village that we bought tickets for to go see tomorrow night at night. Like it's 8:30. I think we're going to.
I'm quite jealous because my day tomorrow will be
in the city.
End of the year freight charges budgeting.
Fair
Doesn't
enough.
that sound exciting?
For whom?
For the company that I work for, which I will leave unmentioned here.
Mm-hmm.
I work in logistics for the company that I work for too, but that's why I asked. Interesting.
Yeah, I work for a department that is full of artists. So imagine trying to explain logistics to a bunch of right brain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I work in logistics for a healthcare company, so we have to explain it to hospitals and imaging clinics and the like. So it's kind of the same thing.
I work for a very well-known jewelry company.
Oh,
who's quite famous for the windows that they display during the holidays.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what company Dave works for, but that's the color.
That might have something to do with it.
I work in logistics for my company, but I work in every capacity for my company right now. So.
So the good thing about your logistics is you control your own logistics.
This is very true. This is true.
I have no control over mine. I'm sure John has very little control over his as well.
But if I screw up, I yell at myself. I do. Yeah. I do that.
And
one truth about logistics is nobody has control over.
No,
it doesn't matter why.
No. Unless you're taking your own product and delivering it to the end location, like Johnny does, you have no control over your logistics. John and I. So, John, you're probably under the same gun that I am, where people ask you for a delivery date, and you look and go, I don't know, because so many things can happen.
You'll get it at some point.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm Amazon?
No, it's more like they think that Scotty's going to beam it up to the Enterprise and back
Right,
down.
yeah, back down, yeah.
So to not get too nerdy here, John, I had a 17-foot carpet that had to be picked up on Friday, crated in Georgia, mind you, and delivered in Italy on Monday morning.
There you go. I got, that's awesome.
Guess what?
What?
Got it done.
It got it done.
The bill, on the other hand, was 3 times more than the carpet was worth.
I will tell you this. And this pales in comparison to what Dave just said, but I have ordered something from Amazon and had it delivered after I ordered it, had it delivered quicker than if I ordered a pizza from a pizzeria 2 blocks away and had it delivered when it was done.
Because the guy was sitting under his desk, went, "Here you go." Amazon's like Starbucks. Eventually, there will be a Starbucks.
There are so many Amazon warehouses now. Yes. As long as it's in stock in that warehouse, you'll get it in 20 minutes.
Yeah. But it's like...
But that is the secret to their success, is because they have so many more customers than
they can sustain their supply chain.
Exactly. So they can
just like Starbucks, because one day there will be a Starbucks that will open inside a Starbucks.
Yeah, they've got warehouses all over the country with.
That's an old Dennis Miller thing. Yeah,
they're going to ship a lot more of them than maybe my industry or your industry or whatever. So they can do it. But
their price points maybe not as high as ours.
Yeah,
no, probably not.
And probably, but the thing is, with yours is actually important.
No, it's all important. Right?
It's all important. It's just it depends on who you ask, Dave.
Yeah, medical supplies are a little bit more important than jewelry.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah, but depending on who you're talking to, everything's important. How important is a different story, but But
then again, we do make the Super Bowl trophy.
Yeah. Now, I do want to before we sign off, I do want to ask this question because, one of our guests on the show next week will probably be able to answer this question, but I'd rather ask it here. Of anything you can watch after midnight on New Year's Eve, what would you watch?
After midnight?
After midnight.
The insides of my fucking eyelids.
John?
The same thing I watch every year. My Three Stooges marathon.
Three Stooges marathon. Okay.
Yep.
There's that. But
there's 3 marathons on New Year's Eve. Three Stooges.
Honeymooners.
And The Odd Couple.
I would go with Honeymooners.
Honeymooners is mine.
Yeah.
I watch all 3, but Honeymooners is mine.
Honeymooners would be mine if I was still awake, but it's the inside of my eyelids.
There you go.
Well, it's Stooges for me because, I mean, come on. I'm Rhode Island, Boston, Channel 38, Stooges marathon.
Hey, perfect line for Three Stooges.
Yep.
For Boston for you, John. Please pass the Worcestershire sauce. I'm sorry. I could never say Worcestershire.
There you go.
Yep.
So. I gotta love it. All right, John.
This is already the longest show we've ever done.
It's about by far. Yeah, no, we're 20 minutes over the longest show we've ever done. So
yeah, I think it is New Year's Eve. I need to go start my Three Stooges marathon.
We need to do that exactly. So, John, stick around for a couple minutes. We'll talk to you before we sign off.
Okay.
Before we all hang up. Don't sign off. But on that note, we will wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lageroom.com. That's LAGEROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with a video
follow
podcast.
Us in the bathroom.
No, don't follow us there. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, CastBox, Teaser, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us.
I never miss a show.
Well, you never miss a show. I never miss a show either.
No.
So there you go. Anyway, Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great Christmas Eve. Have a very Merry Christmas. Have a
and those who
wonderful
celebrate
weekend.
Hanukkah, I hope it's past. I hope it was fantastic.
Hanukkah's done. Happy Hanukkah.
Festivus is coming up soon.
Festivus is Saturday.
Saturday.
Festivus. Don't forget
Oh,
the airing of the grievances and the feats of strength. You don't want to forget those.
God, I need to build my poll. I should probably phrase that better.
I was
I
gonna
think we
say,
had a few grievances tonight, so
you
we're
might want to
probably
do that. Airing of the grievances. You want to, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so happy.
We
Festivus
actually had one show that fell on Festivus.
We did
Fell being the appropriate word for that, because I had made a poll out of beer cans, and during the show, it fell on me.
It fell. It did. It fell right on him. I think that was the first year. I think it fell on you.
The first year was
You were
our
saying.
show landed on Festivus.
Yep, it did. So on that note, though, celebrate everything, enjoy everything, enjoy the rest of the week,
Kwanzaa.
enjoy the weekend. Kwanzaa's coming up next week.
Solstice, which is
Solstice
coming up,
is Thursday.
It's Thursday. Yes.
Thursday is solstice.
So to all of our
Winter
working
solstice.
friends,
Yep, happy winter solstice. But yes, have a very happy Festivus. Have a very great Christmas Eve. Have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Have a great Kwanzaa. We will actually be airing that day. We'll have our New Year's Eve week show.
and to the rest of you,
And it's Boxing Day as well, by the way.
have a wonderful December 25th.
Have a wonderful December 25th. For those of you that do not celebrate Christmas, enjoy it
Or
regardless.
any of those.
Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. John, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really
Thanks for
appreciate
having me.
every time you come on, John.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on. And we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Merry Christmas. Cheers.
Merry Christmas.
They found him face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake rug. Who did he see when he heard he was there? Now it seems that he shit out of luck. This little penny went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy's eating corned beef in the back of a Ford Pinto.